blam blam. Welcome, how we doing? How are we going today? I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're doing wonderfully. And I hope that you're doing swell. I don't know, I couldn't think of the third thing there, but it felt like it needed three. Anyway, tonight, welcome on in to the 5th episode of the Book Club 2nd edition. I hope that you time here, because I certainly know that I will. I'm BurrowsRed, I'm the Dungeon Master for tonight. First up, we have Friendoboi, who plays Terra.
Hello, I am the Marshmallow, known as Friendo. I play Terra. Lovely to see you on this very memorable evening in September. Anyway.
Wait, is it? Oh.
It is!
Do you remember?
Anyway, that's it.
Hi. I always thought the lyrics were the 24th, not the 21st, so I was a little confused for a second. But hi, I'm Maleficent, I am a streamer, and I'm a cosplayer, and I am an idiot, and I play G. Also, my voice doesn't sound like my voice a couple of times tonight. I'm currently possessed, but I'm working on it.
Hello, I am Chips, and well, Moon Druid, representing the Moon Festival, also known as the Mid-Autumn Festival, which is today, supposed to be able to see the moon, the full moon today. So shush it out when you have time. Yeah. And next.
I can't think of any part of that song to sing. But hey, I am Jimmy, your cat. I do art and stuff on this channel and also Twitter. I post a lot of pictures of my cats instead of art at the moment because they are good. And I play Friend, who is an Eldritch Abomination warlock.
Hi. I'm like, are we done? That's cool. I'm Pastel, and I'm a streamer and a nuisance, and I play Temi, the Furbolg Circle of the Moon Druid. That's it.
And I'm Alishiera. I play Eludere, who is a Drawway of Shroud's monk, and just real good at hitting stuff and not being seen, and then being seen and hitting stuff some more. I'm also a general nuisance. I think that's an excellent title to have.
Look, I think anyone in a D&D campaign is a general nuisance. It doesn't even matter how good a character you try to be. You just always are. Anyway, those are our wonderful, wonderful players for tonight. Please give them all a hand from your respective places at home while you watch this stream / watch this on the internet somewhere. But yeah, I'm BurrowsRed. I am running the campaign tonight. I say that, honestly, very loosely, because let's be real, the book club runs this campaign. I just sit here and tell you what happens. So, just to give you a bit of a heads up for what happened to us all last episode, for once, I have learned to write a list. I can't guarantee that it will help with my storytelling attempts, but we shall see. Let me consult. Anyway, session 4 of last week began with the party chasing down Ralafir, who was looking very suspicious in the Tainted Tendril, the tavern that they were staying in. Too many teas. G and Eludere remained hidden in the shadows while Terra approached him on foot. He ended up stopping at a pier in Delwyn and they had a bit of a chat. Though, despite their attempts to stay hidden, it did appear that Ralafir, to some extent, knew where they were. So, there was just kind of a two-way conversation, but with just some bystanders going on. It was really great. Essentially, Terra managed to get out of him that he is looking for revenge, but he would not reveal what. And he also recommended that the party leave shortly after the morning, which just made the party even more excited to stay, honestly. He also left them with a strand of his hair to just kind of be like, I trust you, can't really tell you what's going on, but here, gesture of goodwill, have some of my hair. That turns out to be a very important part of the session, to be honest. The party returned quickly back to the Tainted Tendril, deciding that they were going to trust in what he said and began packing up for the night, instead deciding to leave that day instead, just in case there was anything suspicious going on that would implicate them in any way, shape, or form. The party then chose to take that time to introduce the new members of the party to the bag of animal holding, which did mean basically going, and here's our pet, and here's our pet, and here's our pet, and here's our pet. Was essentially what went on. They introduced the party to Ahana, their small fairy dragon, 1187, a giant phosphorescent spider that they'd picked up from Arane, and small little Annie, a little baby fire salamander who is very toasty and very cute. I think that's all that was in the bag. I hope so. Otherwise, someone's not going so well. But as an attempt to kind of, suss out the conditions after having decided that the bag of animal holding was akin to the local legend of the Pokeball, Attenborough and Temi wild-shaped into animals themselves and jumped themselves into the bag, where they found a meadow of all things that animals would need. Food, water, entertainment, good sights, good drinks, the whole lot. Honestly, if you had a couple of days and you needed some time off, you could just scoot on in there. Have a great time. They've deemed it animal worthy. But shortly after that, the hair becomes important because Friend decided that they would eat it and cast scrying.
Didn't eat it, just put it in their mouth.
But there's the attempt to just put it in, yeah. It was coiled and it was put in their mouth. I believe we made a reference to Lady and the Tramp with the spaghetti scene. Yeah. The hair still exists. The hair was not digested, but it did remain in mouth as they cast scrying. This meant that they were able to determine that Ralafir himself is a green dragon, and currently he was swimming through the cold, icy lake near Delwyn, going to some undetermined location. So the party, instead of immediately leaving, kind of went, okay, we'll pay for our room, we'll give the guy a big tip at the front. He's real nice. Bran was like, yeah, I loved having you guys here. If you ever want to come back, come back. And they bought a bunch of stuff, probably assuming that things were going to turn out pretty badly tomorrow. So just to kind of get a little bit of a, sorry bud, in advance. And then they headed out to the lake to try and catch Ralafir before heading off to the death hour. But they were unsuccessful and had no real way of being able to contact him, knowing that G, probably the only one in the party with a kind of messaging sending spell that wasn't linked to a certain kind of person, who wasn't able to cast it for the next 8 hours. So instead they just decided to teleport back. The Death Tower, I might remind you, is the place where the book club houses their dragons. Quite literally. They also have a few other people there. It's quite a assortment of beings in that tower. There are upwards of thousands of spiders. There are thousands of the Laslethi who are contained in stone as they're astral projecting into the astral sea. There is Book, Iluana, Axis, Beranault, all dragons themselves, and also Ludan, who has been studying there, who is Friend's warlock. Just as a little bit of a reminder, and just a potential idea of the amount of NPCs who are in this tower. So Temi, Attenborough, and Eludere, our new parts of the party, really get the first introduction, just straight into the deep end. And as they appear, everyone's like, yo, you're back? That's cool. And the party's like, hey guys, there's dragon hunters. Wait, no, hang on. How did we work that out? This is what happens when I don't read my notes. But essentially, they have a bit of a conversation about the Hellfires. And the Hellfires are a kind of like an ancient organization. They're the ones who sponsored the Fight Club. The party goes, yeah, we just came from this place where there were the Hellfires. And all the dragons get real quiet. And everyone gets real sus. And they're just like, what's going on? And the dragons tell them all about how the Hellfires was once a dragon hunting organization. And the party goes, oh, probably what Ralphia wanted to do, murder them all. We'd really like to help with that. We're not quite sure yet. And at the current moment, G, Attenborough, and Axis are going off to make some tea, while Terra, Eludere, and Temi and Friend debate whether or not to tell Book about the scale mail armor that they won in the Fight Club that may possibly be Book's dad's. Because just to remind everyone, Book's dad was killed by said Hellfires. So that's a good opening conversation. So hopefully I filled in most of what happened in the last episode. I kind of lost my mind a little near the end, but that's fine. Always happens. Anyone feel like there's any additions? Good to know. Alright, then we begin session 5 with Attenborough, G, and Axis returning into the room. I believe we established that Axis and G were terrible at holding their teacups, and so the tea is really spilling over the sides at this point. But Attenborough is just kind of like, alright. And they head on into the room to go and replenish everyone's supplies. I believe Terra has cracked open a glass or bottle of whiskey, and everyone is slowly settling, with the scurrying sounds of spiders overhead, as those spiders have set up camp in the library as well. So that's where we begin.
Is everyone having
Tea?
the tea?
Oh yes, of
The
course.
tea
Ilyana
brewed
will say, and we'll just
Fine.
like, grab some tea from you.
Lovely. Yes. Good. Okay. He walks away. Yeah, it's okay.
tea.
Take,
Oh,
take
God.
the tea. Yeah, take the tea. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. I guess. We'll be looking around. Still the library. Yeah.
We are in the library currently, that's correct.
Okay.
So currently in this room, you have Book, Ilyana, and Axis. As
Mhm.
NPCs. Obviously everyone else is also there.
Mm-hmm. And the spiders.
And the spiders.
Either luckily or unluckily, the spiders don't really talk.
They do if you speak to them. It's just whether or not anyone's interested in speaking with them.
Wait, can they? I thought Friend could only speak to them because they had speak with animals. I was unaware
Oh, that's
that...
what I mean.
Both
Like,
druids have it.
Oh,
so-
right,
Yeah.
right. I was like, wait, that means G's been ignoring the spiders, and I totally didn't mean to do that. I thought they couldn't talk to me.
I think if you like switch on speak with animals, you'll hear something equivalent to like a very busy market.
yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so hang on. I turned into a monkey and Temi turned into a what?
Spider.
A spider. Oh. If only you stay in that form for a little while longer.
I know.
I mean, we still have wild shape to spend if we're feeling cheeky.
Yeah.
And maybe a little polymorph for Friend to experience the bag holding.
Everyone's like, nah, I'm done with this tense situation. Let's go in the back.
Yeah, no, we've just got the scale mail hanging around, but we want to go chat with the spiders.
It's like, yeah, you had your tea? Great. Hey! Heads up.
What's
I
the
mean, G ran into the kitchen so she wouldn't have to have this conversation, so she's staying very, very quiet right now.
I was gonna say, what's the like a vibe? Like, what are the dragons
check.
doing now that the tea has been brought in and everyone's kind of back together and there's a lull in conversation? What are the dragons doing? What's their vibe check?
I think Axis is doing that really like weird thing where he's like waiting for someone to like bring up a topic. Like he's like kind of in the corner, just like, yeah, this is awkward. I'm not gonna be the first one to bring something up though. Book and Eliwana are kind of just like dissociating a little bit into their tea. Not really looking to start any kind of conversation. So it's very, very quiet at this point.
Mm.
Did anybody tell them about?
Book will just look back to you, and there is like a look on his face that just, you know the look that he has.
Personally, I think that as it's not in our possession, it's not our problem. And she's going to look at Elodie.
Eludere would just like see G looking at her like with her teeth. Say, all right. She'll look at what are the other two, the senior book club members. What are they? Because she'll stand up and like kind of look, engage at G's prompting. What the existing members.
Friend is gonna slide down under the tail suit and put her faces over the top.
Is that just gonna be like friend's head there, and then the hat will be covering, so you just see
Yes.
just
Just
like a
shadow and then
tiny
gleaming
moonlight.
eyes.
Oh, speaking of Shadow, Shadow will be like trying to hang around Ilwana.
That's fair. What a cutie.
Trying to remember, I think Terra. I don't think I said anything specific. I think she was just talking to, like, I don't think I said anything specific about where she would be situated in the room, but probably like not probably standing not terribly far away from where Book and Iliwana are, and I think she's probably just staring at the ground, slightly also dissociating. So,
Eludere's just gonna like piercing gaze at like all three, and then just right. And she'll, I guess, approach Book.
I'm assuming, did we have in character the discussion about what we should do about it?
No.
We should probably do that.
We did in character say, oh, we can't keep that. But
We should
I
definitely actually talk about it before anything happens.
Then
And we'll just be like,
Book will turn to you and just kind of mention and kind of point it towards Friend, but like towards all of you. Ludan is in his quarters, if you did want to speak with him at all. I know you've had communications with him, but he is around.
yeah, it's a good idea. Maybe we should all go talk to him. Everyone, let's go meet Ludan again.
Okay.
Everyone just jumps at the opportunity.
Oh my god.
Okay, sure. So you head up
Okay,
through the
bye.
tower. Yeah, perfect. Love it. Love it. Axis is just like standing by the door, and he's kind of giving you guys a look like, what's going on here? And as you kind of like leaving, he'll like walk towards Book and Eliwana, and you can like hear them kind of whispering things to each other. But you definitely can make your way outside. You head on upstairs to where the quarters are. You see that there are a series of rooms that are upstairs. It looks like at some point that this place housed quite a number of people. And as you kind of move on through, you kind of see this light filtering from beneath one of the rooms. And you manage to easily find Ludan set up in like quite a plush little place, kind of sitting at a desk doing some writing and things. And as you kind of approach and walk on in, you see him sitting there doing his writing as you had seen him in Friend's book from a few days before. And you spot a few things about him initially, especially those who have met him before, but especially some of the new people too. You spot that he's wearing like quite a long, dark coat with a collar that kind of comes up to the sides. And as you're kind of looking to him, you see these small silver threads that kind of loop through from his collar to his neck. And you just see this kind of like this, how do I put it? Like there's this more put together and imposing or like confidence about him. It's kind of very similar to how you would imagine someone of his power and his abilities would be, much more than the broken person that you had picked up from before. His back is much straighter, his clothes are very neat and put together, and he's, you know, he's well groomed, all of those kinds of things, and it looks like he's settling into his powers quite nicely. And as you approach, he will lift himself from the table and he will bow in your direction. Welcome back. We weren't expecting you yet, but it is always a pleasant surprise.
Hello, Dan.
Hello.
You don't need to bow. Why did you do that?
It's the polite thing to do.
Is it? I don't see anyone else doing that.
At least where I came from, it is.
Wait. I think I have seen other people do that.
I don't know that it would have been something that would have been gone over with you. Maybe one day we can go through etiquette.
No, I don't think I need it.
If you wish. Anyhow, I see that you
What
have
are you
new
doing?
friends. Me.
Oh,
I
yes.
am compiling some information that I've acquired from the library. I needed a bit of a moment. The others are loud sometimes. Especially that axis. Sometimes it's best to compile in my own room.
That makes sense. Best to compile in peace.
Certainly. Anyway, new friends?
Yes. These are our new friends. Friends, would you like to introduce yourselves? This is Ludan.
Greetings, I'm Attenborough.
Hello, I'm Temi.
And I'm Eludere.
Wonderful to meet you, of course. And he'll go through and he'll shake each of your hands as well. And like, this is a very, very polite person too, but kind of like in an old-fashioned kind of way. Like, you kind of get the feeling that he maybe hasn't done, or he's kind of got an older way of doing things, even though as an elf himself, he's not super old or anything like that, but seems to be out of the game a little bit.
Oh my god, he just how do you, dude?
Yeah, I guess, but just not in the incel kind of way. You know?
The lady.
Pain.
In a way, it's just how do you do, my fellow kids?
But yeah, you spot as you look at his sleeves as well, they're like quite close to his arms, and you see more of those silver threads that are kind of linking to his arms.
I have some bad news for you.
Always good to leave with bad news.
Yes, we came here to be loud, probably. So
That's fine. Please make yourself seated. Plenty of room. And yeah, you spot that there's like, it's kind of like he's got like a weird like pillow fort thing going on. It's like kind of like lounging chairs, but they have like loads of pillows, like more than is what is necessary. So there's like plenty
Like
of room
my
in here
living
to
room?
sit. Yeah. Very
More
much
pillows
so.
and couch spaces.
Except imagine like on 3 walls, there's the pillows and stuff as well.
Bills.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, so Eludere, the armor that you have is probably Book's father's corpse.
Yes, I was putting that together with what was being discussed.
Yeah. I don't think it's good if he knows about it. Ever.
And how do you think that he would react if we didn't tell him and he found out about it later and found out that we had it in our possession all this time?
I don't think we should have it in our possession. But maybe he just won't find out and it will be fine. I do think he will react badly to finding out that it exists at all.
Perhaps, but he may also appreciate the information. Just because information is not sensitive doesn't mean that it's not good to have.
Well, we thought that when we told him that his father's grave had been desecrated, and it turns out that he was not happy to hear that news at all.
We even told
So
him
I
in the
don't-
same message that we fixed it, and he wasn't happy.
Yeah, I think just knowing that his body has been turned into armor that's been paraded around by an organization that he hates is not nice.
I understand.
I do think we
However-
have to tell him.
And we don't need to show him, but I think he deserves the information and the option of how to proceed with it. My intention was to have it returned to the Dragon Glade, and if he doesn't wish to see it, I can do that. However, he may have his own funeral rites that he wishes to return it to his burial chamber.
Maybe. I just don't want him to be sad.
Grief works differently for everyone, and it's not easy, but I'm more than happy to be the one that breaks bad news if the three of you have had sensitive issues regarding his father previously.
He's just gonna be really sad. Like, really sad about it.
Sometimes you have to be, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve the information.
If you say so.
Maybe it's not a conversation we need to have today. Give him some time to process. Drip feed the information, I guess. Has to not. Or I don't know if that's better or worse.
I think that's maybe worse.
I think that's worse.
Yeah.
Like, if we wait a couple of days to tell him and then we'd be like, we have armor made of your father and it's been in the tower with you this entire time. Haha, surprise.
Mm.
I think
He'll
we need to
probably
tell
ask
him
why we didn't
now.
say earlier.
Also, the matter of how Ralafir is going to proceed tomorrow. This piece of information could sway what he decides to, or Book decides to do in relation to Ralafir's actions.
I still think that we should help. And I think Book would like to help. And I think that maybe if he doesn't want to say that he wants to help, then we could just help on his behalf. As like a present for accidentally bringing part of his dad's corpse home with us. Like a sorry.
I guess the topic is related because he mentioned revenge. And since now that we've got information of the two things are sort of linked by Book's father. I think we just have to figure out a way to pass on that information and let him be the boss of the decision to what he wants to do and what he wants us to do.
I mean, Book isn't actually our dad. He doesn't tell us what to do.
No, but we probably don't want to act for him without his opinion.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want someone to do that for you.
Sorry, Ludan, do you want us to leave? We just kind of had to.
He's just like,
It's-
What's your
Seems deep.
opinion?
I would always opt to know the truth. Might be hard, but it is always better to know, but it is also not your responsibility to manage his reaction. If he reacts poorly, that's on him.
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be on my side.
Well, unless you're going to compel me to do this.
No, you just should be. Isn't that the rules?
Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work like that. Davitrus and I often came to heads on many things. Often led to some cold shouldering on their part, which is a strange thing for a warlock to experience.
Well, I won't cold shoulder you about this, but maybe other things. I'll keep it in mind.
I'll
Friend
take
will
that
remember
threat
this.
into consideration.
Well, how are we proceeding with this?
Well, I think you're right. I think it's better if we get everything out in the open today. Which means that I'm going to tell him about the other tournaments. For some reason, I didn't think that they would be unaware. And I also thought that Hellfires used to be dragon hunters meant a long, long time ago, not within long-lived, but still lived memory. So I can handle at least some of it if you would like, Eludere. I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position. Welcome to the group. Now do the hard thing. Ugh.
Well, I would appreciate if you'd like to have this conversation with me, although I'm the one with the armor, as she pointed out, and I was the one that accepted it. So it is partly my responsibility to get it into the right hands, which is what I'd always intended to do with it anyway.
I also think you're not going to be quite so affected by the disappointed fatherly look, since he's not a father figure to you. At least not yet. He's very fatherly. I don't know if you're going to be able to help it. Eventually.
Well, I guess time will tell.
So we go back out there, and if he's not like crying, we tell him now.
I think unfortunately, even if he is crying, we still tell him now.
Yeah, I suppose.
G will remember this. Well,
Terra will sort of pull out the kind of slightly enchanted whiskey bottle again. Anyone before we go back in?
Absolutely.
And Elodie will have a swig as well. Go on then.
Have a little swig yourself, and then if we're ready.
Sure, why not?
Sorry for the intrusion, Ludan. I like your coat
Thank you.
thing.
Time.
Before we leave, this is slightly off topic, but I'm just curious. The style of kind of robe coat that he's wearing, does it look like well, I mean, the three of us that were there with the Leslethy pods, Tupperware containers. I don't know what you call them. Does it look like? Does it resemble the style of like anything that any of them are wearing?
So a lot of the kinds of outfits that the Leslethy wear were very like flowing robes. Like, think more like the kind of thing that would be like slung around you as opposed to like an actual fitted garment. Whereas he at the moment is wearing something that's more akin to like a tailored version of what Friend's wearing, essentially. Like dark blacks, layered, but just very close to the body. And very clearly fitted to him.
Okay, no, I was just curious. Yeah. Let's go back to the library. Woohoo!
Sure. So, as you head on back down the stairs, just kind of sheepishly going down the corner, you walk back into the library, and everyone's kind of having a bit of a chat. And sorry, just reading things. I need to close windows. And as you kind of go back down, you walk back into the library, and you see that each of the three dragons are kind of chatting amongst themselves. Axis has kind of got his arms crossed and like a hand on his chin, just kind of thinking about something. And Ilyuana just looks like she's looking up to book at this stage and just... they all look to be like they've just finished a conversation. They're all mulling something over. But it's fairly easy to walk in. There's plenty of room in the library too. Plenty of space. So yeah, as you walk back down, they'll all kind of look in your direction and nod politely at you all.
How long can we awkward silence them before they say something to us?
Yeah, Eludere's standing like slightly forward from the group, just waiting for Terra.
Muted?
Who?
No? Oh, okay.
No, I'm just thinking of like how to start the
Mullen.
sentence.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, right.
Yeah.
Temi's like
Well,
itching to like maybe interject if no one else will.
No, yeah. Well, Eludere was going to, if Terra's like kind of thinking, Eludere's just gonna like gently grab Terra's hand and like kind of pull her forward a step and approach Book.
Yeah.
May
there
I
are so, no, there are some other things that you should probably know. And it's probably best to talk about it now.
Certainly, Terra. Is this a conversation we should be having in private, or...?
Probably. Right. Book, Eludere, and then kind of look at everyone else. If anyone else, and then we'll just kind of start heading upstairs to room kind of Terra's claimed as her own. And yeah, whoever comes along, comes along.
The whole book club just comes along and it's just like,
yeah.
okay, this is...
Yep, if they want
Alright.
to, like, yeah.
Yeah.
You would very seriously consider
Yeah.
not going, but she will.
And, like, I don't think that would be weird to him at all. Like, he had a relationship with most of you outside of, like just before anyone else was around. Like, it's not uncomfortable for you to pull him aside. It would be new, obviously, for the new people, but it's not weird. Obviously tense from the atmosphere, but weird.
Yeah. I think Attenborough will definitely opt to go with them because he knows about it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me that I have to describe what the room looks like, and
You
now I
certainly
have to
do.
think of. Yeah, I do. I've done this to myself.
Or would you like to go into... A book can lead you to his room instead.
That feels rude. That you know, like that's
Yeah, but, like,
invasive.
Go to your safe space where I can tell you this bad thing.
We
Yeah,
can go to
no,
the
it's
kitchen. There are plenty of rooms here.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay. I have a vague idea.
Okay.
Yeah, my brain's been cooking for a hot second. So I think it's probably on like the, you know, if there's like several kind of floors, well there are. It's oh, bloody what a man. Anyway. Bloody hell. I think there's a you know, like a not like a not like a big window. I feel like there's other rooms that probably have like bigger windows that, you know, but hasn't taken one of those rooms. It's probably the furniture's probably like some of the older stuff that was here that Terra's probably refurbished a little bit because she can do carpentry shit. There's probably like a round table with some reasonably comfortable chairs, maybe one that's like half in the process of being refurbished. There's probably I think like I don't know, probably like a chess set, and then like but it's like half knocked over. Like she was trying to like do chess tactics good, and then got frustrated with it. Probably like some
Throw it all
dagger
around.
gouge.
Yep.
Yeah, like there's probably like, you know, it's like well put together ish, and then if you look in corners, it's like there is a dagger scratch in this table. Like that shouldn't be there. It's probably just like, chess is hard. Anyway, yeah, there's probably enough space for everybody to sit down. Now it is me who should not look at things. Yeah, I'll kind of lead everybody in. Get Book to sit down. Hopefully he brought his tea.
Yeah. Everyone's got cups and drinks. If we're pulling out the whiskeys, like there's ample things. I'm sure even Terra has like bedside glasses, you know, like ready to go kind of deal.
Yeah,
They
there's
gotta
probably
do a produce flame to keep the tea hot.
Well, he wouldn't be doing it. He's cold, but he'd be having iced tea. But
No, Attenborough would.
oh, right. Yeah, of course.
right. I owe you an apology, Book, again. We have been aware of the Hellfires for some time, and it somehow didn't occur to me that any of you wouldn't know about them being here already. I also thought the whole dragon hunting thing was longer ago than it actually was. That's on me.
Terra, I do want to elaborate on that. I have been around for a long time. in regular life cycles, they have not been very recent. That makes sense.
It does, but you're our friend, and I'm. Well, it's only going to get worse the longer I talk. So, don't rush to go easy on me just yet. They ran a tournament in Maneus, which we won. They ran the Colosseum tournament in Corwald recently, which we also won, and honestly took a lot of their money, but that doesn't make it any better.
Congratulations. Money is a good thing. I hear.
The prize for this most recent tournament was a set of silver dragon scale armor. Eludere won. None of us, I don't think any of us had any intention of ever using it. Considering that I think at this point Terra's kind of like floundering and like maybe looking to Eludere like
Yeah, Eludere will just hand on shoulder and kind of like squeeze his shoulder.
In light of the recent information, it may be more personal to you than we realized. I was going to have it sent to the Dragon Glade. I come from Emponia North, and my family has always had an amicable relationship with dragons, although this is the first time I've been privileged to at least know I'm speaking with a dragon. However, we wanted to extend the offer if you wished to see it, if you wished to be the one that took custody of it.
About this piece?
Only that they said that it is an ancient relic of the Order. Outside of that, no, honestly, we didn't thoroughly investigate the piece out of respect. I think everyone was of the same mindset of trying to get it into the hands of someone else that could appropriately lay it to rest, or at least determine if this was a piece of scale mail of donated scales, which I know is a thing that can happen, although knowing the history of this particular order, we suspected not.
I would assume. I appreciate you telling me that. I know that the last time you had information regarding a personal issue, I conduct myself as I should have. I know that doesn't friends here. I'm sorry that this is the first time that we get, but it does happen to be that this scale mail made from the scales of my father. Which likely it probably is, but we can't be sure. I don't... You have done what you can to remedy what damage would be done by having this thing created. To me, told me about it, and you haven't sought to sell it or hide it away or anything like that. It's weird, for sure. The idea that there's a piece of armor that's running around with scales of a dragon who's possibly long since dead. But that isn't him. It is his. That armor isn't his. I firmly believe in the idea that any item or weapon is only as bad or as sinister as the people who use it. Armor was created with bad intentions, created from the body of something that did not want to give it. You're right, dragons do often give prizes and things to people who treat them well. Friend, you have an example of that. And sometimes they're taken forcefully. That's been done for many, many years. But if you do have something of power, because you're using it for good intent, I know that you did choose to. I wouldn't begrudge you for that. The item exists. I think that it should be used. Because the only other thing is, it would be different if I didn't have anything of my father. I know where his tomb is. I know that his body is there. These are like keeping toenail clippings as opposed to body or a corpse. I know that's strange, but it is the best analogy. They don't mean anything to me. What they did obviously means something, but this armor isn't a representation of that. It's just them doing horrible things to people for their own gain. If anything, I think that should be turned against them. And I suspected that something like that would have been made. Dragons have been harvested for years for things very similar to that. It's not a surprise you would have found it. Book will like grab your hands, Terra, and he'll just like politely, not just like fucking yank. Thank you for telling me. But I have no connection to this armor beyond... It makes me want them dead. But I already want that. It is more confirmation of something that I already knew had probably happened. Hope that helps in a way. Or a few of you would be able to use something like that. Kinds of items are very strong. Or you sending it back to the Dragon Glade. They didn't know me though. They didn't really know my father. I doubt that they will have any huge connection to it. But it is a good gesture.
I think Terra's gonna give him a hug. Kind of
Yeah.
an awkward, because like still wear like armor, just
Yeah.
give his hands a squeeze back and just give him a hug. And then kind of What do you think we should do about Ralafir?
Honestly, I'm still torn about it. Don't exactly support wanton slaughter, but if he's going to do it anyway, you're not really going to stop him. I don't intend on changing anyone's opinions or anything like that, and I'm sure he's very well set in his. I personally don't have any qualms with Hellfires. I don't know for sure if they had anything to do with the old dragon hunt. Could just be an old grudge that he has. Can't be sure. I think if you think that he is a reasonable person, you all have ways, I'm sure, of working that out amongst yourselves. See why you shouldn't help him. I don't necessarily think that running in and slaughtering a bunch of people is a good plan, but go in and he's got a knife to a throat. Guess just see what happens.
Right. Shall I walk you back down to the library?
Yes. I suppose so. Unless there's anything else you need to chat about. If this is happening tonight, though, are you planning on heading back, or?
Would you teleport us back? We don't know there's any circles over there. And you know a lot more places than we do.
Right. The only problem with that is it's maybe. Yeah, I suppose.
No, but like, what's the problem? We don't want you to do anything
It's
that
just,
you
it's
don't
just
want to
a few,
do.
it's for you. It's just a little bit of a walk. It's all right. It's nighttime though. Be okay.
You can fly.
That's what I mean about the nighttime part. Much easier not to be seen at nighttime. During the day,
Very good.
probably not a good plan.
So wait, if you teleported us, you wouldn't be able to come back?
No, I could come back plenty fine. It's just the teleportation circle is just north of Arane, about half a day's trip to Shadowhaven. The same place that you came to get there. So in order to make that faster, you have to find some way of transporting yourself a little bit quicker than that. Which could mean, critically, I could fly you there. Or you have another option.
No, I don't think we do.
It is also only the equivalent of like 7 o'clock at night, so 6 hours travel would still put you in the early morning. 4 hours travel, half a day. Not 6.
But if we flew, we could get a long rest in before that.
I highly doubt that.
If it's 7 p.m. and it's a
Yeah.
4-hour travel,
Because then you'd be getting
we
there
don't
at
have to
nighttime.
do anything while we're flying.
You can't long rest on a flying
Oh my
dragon,
God.
Mel. It doesn't just have like a platform.
Jet.
I've slept on plenty of planes.
The people flying can't sleep.
No, but if Book is just dropping us off and then going home and he's not fighting, then he doesn't need the long rest.
Mel, it's a dragon.
the
It
math.
doesn't have like a platform to hold you. You would
It
just
would
fall
be like-
off.
Yeah, it would be like trying to sleep on the outside of the plane.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's a good point.
Ma'am.
What if we just like strap G to just like a limb so that G
Has anyone tried sleeping even just on like a horse? Like, I highly
Yeah.
doubt.
Never tried. I don't think I ever will.
I've never tried, but I'm also not magic.
G is not
True,
magic.
but
Magic.
I feel like you wouldn't rest properly either.
No, probably not. I'm
Can
not
you
actually
cast-
arguing this. I'm just saying.
Just out of curiosity, like, could you cast Leomund's tiny hut on the back of a dragon?
Because you can fall
Yes.
out of it. You
Oh my
can't.
God.
You don't stay in it, like
That
voluntarily, if that makes sense.
would be pretty good there.
That would be pretty fun. If it was like a containment thing. That would
Yeah, I don't know. I just think of it as like an igloo, but
Yeah.
I forget that you can just pass through the walls.
I wonder if isn't there like a home type one? Like there's another
magnificent
version?
mansion.
Yeah, I think like probably
But
something
that's
like that would
the-
be right.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to have that on the back of a dragon though, because of the portal, and the portal wouldn't move with the dragon.
Yeah, good point.
That
Unless it's linked to a saddle. Some-
Yes.
There's some logistics to this.
Wait. So the group is now planning to go back to the town. Is that correct?
I mean, G
Yeah.
always wanted to, and so far nobody else has objected. So she's fully on, yes, this is the plan, and
Oh,
this is
yeah.
the plan that is planning, and we are happening, and it's doing the thing. Nobody said no.
Temi's certainly happy to go. Like, I think originally they were just nervous to do it without like checking it was all good with everyone first. Because like the last thing you want to do is like act for someone and it be the wrong move and then be like, bro, I would never have said yes to this.
Bro.
yeah.
So yeah, but no, Temi's definitely on team. Let's go, gang. Let's go, girls.
Attenborough has a spell called travel via plants. Travel via plant.
Mhm.
And as long as it's a large plant, aka tree, that Attenborough has, came across and touched in a certain location, then he can travel to it. And it creates a portal and I guess can get everyone through the
Yeah, like is it
portal.
a certain amount of like humanoids or something that can travel through it?
Yeah, I'm trying to read onto it, but it didn't say
But travel by plants?
travel via plants. Yeah, it say for the duration. Any creature can step into a target plant and exit it from the destination plant. Like, yeah, it can just
For the duration,
yeah.
any creature can step into the target plant and exit from the destination plant by using 5 feet of movement. That's sick.
it says duration 1 round.
At
so
any distance. You can just be
At
like,
any
fucking, I'm
distance.
out of here, guys. I just want to go to the entire other side of the continent. It
Druid
is 6th
shit.
level, to be fair. So, like, that's a high-level
Ow.
spell slot to be using, but it would work. You wouldn't even need to be teleported back in that instance. Because you would have touched plants on the way to Delwyn.
Oh,
so
yes.
you wouldn't need to be teleported back by book in that case. I mean, you'd need to find a plant, I guess. But
is there a tree around here?
around
the-
here, it's all ice. So you just need to do like a little bit of a walk. But, there are dragons. They could just pick you up and drop you off or whatever.
Carpool Uber.
Carpool dragon lol.
I love
How
like,
about that?
Oh, that's a good idea. I was just gonna say I love like Elodie's like I've never had the privilege of talking to a dragon, and we're like, "Mom, come get me! I want to do a murder."
Oh my
Anyway.
God.
So it's 7 p.m. ish.
Yeah, right about there.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah, it depends if how far away. I mean, yeah, a tree would be. I think we can do it. I think the only thing would be if we're sort of doing stuff like in the night, like into the morning. Like, would we want to, like, get there and like action man go, and then like have a long rest kind of in the morning / afternoon? Or do we risk getting there, potentially having some travel time to Delwyn, sleeping and then waking up and hoping that he hasn't done anything yet? Or
Yeah. Mind you, wait. Mind you, I only have one level 6 spell slot. So this ticket is only one way. It's now we have a little bit of luxurious time to plan our trip, essentially. I mean, technically, we just left the town.
Yeah, you've been here for like 5 minutes. Well, like 15. Had a bit of chatting.
Yeah.
the other option is if we like have like an early night, go to sleep super early. Well, try to anyway. And then get up super early. Tree Bamf. And then, because then that way we'd get a long rest, and if anyone needs to like, refresh spells or abilities or things like that, if they got used during the tournament, then we have that option. I don't know.
If we're not opposed to camping out, we could just go and like try and get Rutherford's attention at the lakefront as well. And then if we can't sleep, long rest, G can message in the morning and be like, "Hey, have you committed a murder yet? Because we can help with that." And then go from there. Because we didn't really try anything to just get Rutherford's attention. So
No, we just stood on the side of the lake and were like, what is
damn.
still here?
Couldn't be me. All right, we're out of here. Just teleported
Dragon
away.
in lake. Nothing happened. Yeah.
That is an option. People aren't opposed to camping out in the cold.
I don't mind at all.
Sounds fun.
Suppose we need
I
to
don't
find a
have my
plant
tiny
then.
tent.
Time to find a tree.
Trying to think of the nearest tree.
But like, if you stack up the books tall enough, does it count as a tree?
I don't even imagine that they'd have like houseplants. Like, this isn't like a homely place right now. It's still in renovations. And it's also ridiculously cold outside. I feel like book would at least be like, you either have the option of walking down the mountain, or are you able to teleport to somewhere else just to go touch a tree?
Yeah.
A sentence I never really thought I'd ever say.
Tree
but...
knowledge intensifies.
I don't know really where our teleports go specifically. So I don't know.
I mean, I would have just imagined that pretty much anywhere but here would at least have a tree. But
Gotta work on getting some trees in here. Like a
That would
big
be
Christmas
delightful.
tree kind of thing.
bring home some potted plants.
Surely there are trees nearby.
Yeah, so it's like you'd have to walk down the mountain to go and get some trees.
And how long would
Or a
that take?
dragon could fly us down.
Could.
Fly us down.
Fly us down the mountain, we need to touch a tree.
Dad.
Look.
Please, can you drive us to the party?
If you'd like, I can enlist one of the others' help and we can take you down. Get some trees.
I vote Axis because he hates doing things.
God damn.
So, for some reason, I just think he'll be incredibly happy to help you on this occasion, but we can certainly
Actually,
ask.
yeah, I feel like he could come with us and help commit a murder.
He might think it's fun.
I don't know if we should encourage him.
It's
Remember how I
like,
said about the making sure that people are reasonable thing? Yeah, you brought him here. So
You
far,
brought
it has
him
been a
change your
good
mind on trusting our
decision.
opinion?
Well, you suggested that he be brought here and be, as you say, adopted.
And now he's walking around flexing his muscles. How dare.
Yeah, how dare.
Constantly.
Pastel.
Without a shirt all the time.
Damn.
Stop
How
showing your
terrible.
under 10% fat body. Gah!
I don't really understand why you're complaining.
It's the
You shouldn't
attitude.
judge him for his fashion choices.
Oh, I'm not judging him for his fashion choices. It's his mouth that needs some adjustments.
This is so dumb. Can I please roll an insight check as to whether the book is actually bothered? I
Sure,
need
feel
to
free,
know!
Feel free. Feel free. Roll me an insight check.
Okay. This is the most
The
important roll
rolls.
of my entire life. Okay.
Oh God.
Come
Need
on.
some readjustments.
Please. 10?
10. Not quite sure.
Damn
There's that like mystical dragon energy around Book currently, and he's being like vague and like you can't quite get a read.
But we're friends.
Yeah, but with a 10,
Yeah, look, that's fair.
it's a 10.
I tried.
We can certainly ask him. Just get him too excited.
Fine.
Or dude, I'm not in control of you.
You're not our dad.
That is very true. I don't believe that I would be any of your fathers. In the slightest.
You say that like there's a chance that you could be. I just don't think you
Exactly.
are.
A dad
I
of
don't believe I am.
someone.
Excuse me?
I feel like there is a vital component missing here to this conversation. Also, I don't know how I feel about being dragged into one of your rooms and being asked if I can be your daddy. So I'm gonna scoot downstairs.
Did we say that?
No, I think he's implying things. He's inferring things here that nobody
Uh-huh.
said.
You're letting your
Wow, that was
imagination get away with
presumptuous.
you.
I'm going downstairs.
Pain.
If you would still like to ask us to help, I'm more than willing.
Lovely. Well. Let's go talk to Axis then.
I feel before we do that, out of character, while it would be hilarious to involve Axis, probably, if we want to try and keep a low profile, maybe I don't know. And also, if we want to do the tree thing, we have to. I keep forgetting that we have to find a tree. We can't just go magically to a tree without a tree. We have to.
Yes, there needs
Yeah.
to be a tree
Yeah.
to get to another tree.
Yeah.
Tree A, tree B.
A 2-tree system going here.
Oh my god.
Because the other thing as well is if we go through the tree, if it lasts a round, if it's 6 seconds, we probably don't have time to get enough horses through if we need horses, if the tree tree B is like far enough away from Delwyn that that we need to do a bit of a walk. Maybe.
Wait,
it functions the same as a teleport spell, essentially, because teleport is also 1 round, like teleportation circle.
Yeah. You'd easily be able to manage to get everyone in there because it's using 5 feet of movement. As long as you're all within range, you would easily all be able to step into a teleportation zone. Transport thingy, portal, whatever. Also depends if you want to take your horses. You did bring them with you and then teleport them back, and then they magically siphon themselves off into the stables. Like,
if we want to be sneaky, we probably don't want to bring horses.
Yeah.
Oh, how long is 1 round?
6
seconds.
But isn't that 1 turn is 6 seconds?
Yeah.
And then how many turns equals to 1 round?
So 1 round is 6 seconds, but everyone's turns happen in succession. So technically, a combat is like everyone moves at the same time. It's not everyone's paused while everyone's taking their turns. Like, as you're wailing into someone else is also doing their own thing. The enemy's hitting you back. Like, honestly, D&D combat makes no sense in that regard, but that is how it works, essentially, mechanically. So each of you would have a turn to move through the portal. You wouldn't have an issue with moving everyone through it.
Yeah. Okay.
And we have done the maths. The teleportation circle also lasts for a round. We worked out you can fit 20 people slung up on a spider's web through a portal. We have worked that out. We have done that maths before. So
if we wanted to walk down the mountain, how long would that take us?
about an hour.
Okay. Well, shall we walk down the mountain, find a tree, yeet through a tree,
Leaf.
Hey.
Ban me. Hence the call.
Because I think Mel, you said G doesn't have any level 3 slots left today.
So we have to bring an actual tent.
All
right.
Which is okay. I think we'd be fine. Yeah. Maybe a bit cold, but well, I mean, yeah, that's if we, see what happens when we get there, basically. Whether we want to rest or whether we want to go and try and find my brain is like Ludar, and I'm like, no, that is not his name. Ralphia. And yeah, go from there, I guess. I think maybe if we involve, maybe we can get like Booker access to pick us up. Come get me. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like I kind of feel like the less attention we can draw to it, the better, because there's already like 6 of us. I can count. Yes.
Is Tiny Hut not ritual anyway? Ritual cast?
At least not as a bard. I don't think you can ritual cast it. Maybe you can.
It's just got ritual on the spell. I don't think it's determined from like between wizard or bard. It's just you can cast it as a ritual.
I think would you still have to have a slot to do that?
No.
No,
Oh,
'cause if you
no.
ritual cast
It's a
it, it
ritual
doesn't
cast. You
use a
don't use a
slot.
spell slot.
Okay.
Let me see. I don't know where I got the idea that G couldn't, as a bard, ritual cast it.
I feel
It
like we
doesn't-
have had this conversation
just-
before, but I can't remember why. I feel like I might have been something else.
Yeah, maybe I just made that up myself. And there've been a couple of times that we've slept on the ground where we didn't need to. Because it doesn't say anything about that. I don't know where
Bards
that
have
idea
ritual
came from.
casting is part of their
Yeah.
spellcasting feature. Where I feel like we have had this conversation before, but I don't remember why. I think it would be fine.
Huh? Okay, so we can have a tiny hut. It'll just take slightly longer to cast. Shit. G will remember this. Oh god. Yeah, that works. Let's go recruit. Let's go recruit Axis for the it's not murder. It's justified homicide. Justifiable homicide. It's a different word.
So just to clarify, when I was talking about recruiting Axis, I was saying like recruiting him to send you all, like to just pick you up and drop you down to get to a tree.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna want to stay.
But just not to recommending to him to come with you, which obviously you're welcome to do if you feel like it, but
I do think that would make Book mad.
It
But
also might
I think G
cause
would
more
enjoy
attention.
it.
that is up to you all. But yes, as we transition into the next scene, then once we've had a bit more chats about the plans, we will drop into break. I appreciate Face. Do we have a question for break time?
Should we take the big evil black dragon with us to fight these people?
Make decisions for us.
Yeah.
Do we do that?
Wait a
I don't
minute.
know. You tell us.
So do they take Axis, the polymorph black dragon, with them in order to save a silly dragon boy who's going to do some dragon murder? Tell us in chat. And I expect that when I come back, it'll all just be the cast writing yes. That'll probably be what happens. But anyway, while we're gone, feel free to enjoy the Be Right Back screen. All our overlays are done by CatRoulette. Very important to note. They're wonderful. Check out our new font. It's very beautiful. Otherwise, I think that's about it. But yeah, we'll be back soon. Appreciate your faces. And tell us, should the party bring Axis or not? Bye-bye. Bablam, bablam. Welcome on back. Actually, no, I've decided to change my mind. I don't want that song. I want this one. Alright. So, we open back up. We just wanted to know whether or not anyone out there had an opinion on whether or not the book club should take Axis, and it seems that it is a resounding yes, purely because the party voted on it, which is okay. That is exactly what we expected. But as we return back, essentially we're making plans to how we are going to get our ways back to Delwyn. So officially, what is the plan?
Walk down mountain,
Find a tree.
Find tree, teleport,
Suck.
send a message, build a
And you are
camp,
going to walk?
keep warm.
We'll get Axis. Axis be like, "Sup, homeboy? Want to commit a murder? Can you fly us down to a tree, and then we'll get you to the point of murdering people."
I think it's Axis and Book will have to take us. Is that what you were implying before? It's
Yeah,
a true dragon job.
There's 6
But
people, so
Book
I
would
feel
go
like...
back home, and we would just take Axis with us.
Yeah. Book
Unless
wouldn't
we
just
do
be
some
like, oh, I have to
convincing.
come. Mm.
He might be there to keep an eye out on Axis.
Does Book get FOMO? Is the question.
The real question is, does Baronal? Because he has no idea what's going on, but no, not
Aww.
really.
He's outside playing in the snow, according to my notes.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you head on back down into the library, Book is already waiting in there. He has said that he will offer to take you. But yeah, you're welcome to ask Axis if you feel. Will you be asking him for his assistance?
So much asking, I would say. It'd be more like, hey, we're gonna go assist Ralphia, that guy we were talking about earlier. Mostly just gonna like buff him and make sure he doesn't get hurt. But if you have been stuck in this tower for too long and would like to go have a fight, we're doing that.
Suppose I can help you out with that. Wouldn't mind stretching my wings a little. Not
Yeah.
literal wings, I just mean it is a phrase.
Well, it's hard to tell because you have literal wings.
I know enough to not appear as a dragon in front of an entire town, G.
I'm just, look, just saying.
But a murder. I think I can deal
It's
with a
not
murder.
murder if it's justified.
I mean, I think it's still murder.
Wow, I really expected you to be on my side with that.
I'm not going to judge you for it, but it's still murder.
Sorry, my dog just woke up. I mean, do we want to ask Baronold? He's kind of new here. I don't feel like putting him in danger for something he's not personally invested in is a good idea.
He also was living in literal hell. I think he's kind of earned a break for as long as he wants.
We look out the window,
Forever.
he's still playing in the snow, like,
Yeah, he's
yeah,
having
I
a
think
great
he can
time.
stay here.
He'll like look it up at you guys, like looking at him, and he'll just wave really politely, and then go back to what he's doing.
Hold
Yeah,
the
that's
dog out the window
fair
that he
enough.
gave me. I still got this.
He just like points at you, he's like, yeah. Go back to playing. He's just like building a little snowman at this point, but it's like a really fucked up snowman.
So if you're coming with us, we're going like now, and we're gonna like camp.
Right,
further
sure.
down the
So
mountain.
we're
We're outside
walking
of town.
down the mountain, right?
I mean, if you wanted to save us some time, Book was gonna fly some of us, and you could fly some of us.
Flying, hey?
Yeah, well, there's no one around. You did say you wanted to stretch your wings.
Hey, I could
Just
be
a little
tempted.
fly.
I could be tempted. You have to make sure you hang on, though. Can't guarantee a ride. Yo, Book!
I don't feel safe in this situation.
Race down the mountain, right? Book's just like...
Do
We'll
it!
get them safely down the mountain.
Fast!
Listen to what they got to say. I think we should go very fast. And Book's just like... We will get you down the mountain is the important part. We will discuss outside anything further. Also, when you do return back here too, I would like to have some proper introductions to you all. Sorry that you've kind of come into this a little bit heavy-handedly, but it'd be lovely to see you, the three of you, return.
Certainly. Can I shotgun to be on the back of your dragon form, please? That would be very good.
Of course, I would highly recommend it. And he was just like shooting at an axis. He was just like shrugging in the corner.
Also grabbing Temi. Temi will be coming with me as well. Yes, very good.
Certainly, of course.
Are we just splitting up into original book club who deserve to be thrown off into, into the sky? And the new people who have not done crimes yet?
Not planning to do any. Thank you very much.
Yes. You say that now.
I am
We'll
saying
see.
it again and again. You watch. You just wait.
The crimes, they're gonna happen.
Yeah, the crimes are gonna happen and not gonna be my problem.
You'll be accessories at best.
We'll see.
I want to go with access. Fast, very fast.
Fuck yeah. That's what you're in for.
Yeah, fuck yeah, fast.
Oh no.
I feel like
Gonna make
upstairs,
my way-
Ludan is just sweating. Like,
That emoji.
What
That
happens to
meme
Ladan if his patron dies?
he just has no power again. He's used to that. It's fine.
Alright! Eludere will follow after Friend. Like, no, I'm not opposed to a challenge. Good access.
Sure.
Okay, then we are split in half, which is probably good because I feel like Terra's not massively Dexy.
Friend is not Dexy at all, aren't they?
I was sort of
No,
more
but we
thinking,
can hold on to Friend.
yeah, strength. I'm like the safety harness for Friend, just holding on with strength. I'm like, I feel like
It's just that Captain America holding onto the helicopter scene.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that I was gonna do something
Oh, sure.
before we go. I want a silly little disguise. Please.
Yes?
Yeah, I want the spiders to weave me like a beard and a little wig. Please.
Okay. Sure. Alright, certainly. I will you know what? You speak to the spiders on the ceiling, and I'll just roll to determine how good it is. It'll be fine.
If it's bad, Temi would want to do druidcraft and assist. It would
I'm
look
kind
a
of
little-
happy with it if it's bad also. But also happy for you to help.
It is a 5.
Oh.
out of what?
So that's on a d20. I'm pretty sure a giant spider has like a +2 for like dex skills. I shouldn't have just searched giant spider because that is terrifying. I'm not like afraid of spiders, but I do get like a bit like ugh at them sometimes.
A
Okay, it's
surprise
+3,
tarantula.
so that's okay. So that makes it a solid 8. I get the feeling it's not like the best, but it's certainly a beard and a wig. At least in like that kind of shape. But it's just kind of like, it would be the equivalent of like putting like cotton on your face. Like, you know, when you do like,
Yeah, but-
like you try to pretend to be like a sheep or something? Yeah.
That's literally what I was envisioning. So just like a very bad disguise. And they would leave their hat, but try and find some other clothes somewhere in the tower. I'm sure there are other clothes somewhere, surely.
Yeah, what kind of clothes would you be looking for?
Probably something colorful because they pretty much only wear black ever, and if someone was going to recognize them, they wouldn't.
So, would you say that you would be looking for like, and I know that you've done art of this before, but like specifically like fuckboy clothes, medieval fuckboy
Yes.
clothes, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
But with like a
absolutely.
cotton beard and wig.
Yeah.
But
The
what
like
does-
stupidest, gayest little like colorful, like floofy bard outfit.
what does Friend's hair look like? Because I feel like we've only seen in a hood and a hat. So if there's no hat,
I don't know. It depends who they look like. I think they look like Ludan most of the time at the moment because I've been rolling pretty close to tens. Ludan has like long, like dark hair. But I think when Friend looks like them, it's shorter. I don't have a reason for that. It's just how it is. It's just just
guess
like
just,
short,
like-
like straight dark hair.
Like how it would fit into their cloak, I guess. Like, just would make sense for it to be smaller. But yeah, you've got your fuckboy outfit and your cotton wig and your cotton beard, and it's just gonna be great. There is some wonderful suggestions going on here. But yes. So you have a disguise obtained. And for the first time in a very long time, for those of you, for G and Terra, who have seen Friend for as long as you have, you see them briefly without a hat, and then coming down in this outfit, they look like a completely different person. Also a completely different person with cotton stuck to their face, but still a thing.
I didn't get to wear this disguise for literally the entirety of the first iteration of book club. So G's gonna see that we're putting on disguises and comes out dressed like a nun.
oh my god.
Yeah, okay.
We're
Sure.
doing disguises,
Halloween
that's what she's
episode.
done.
Alright. Sure.
No one will ever know that it was us.
No clue. Not at all. He comes out dressed like a nun. Anyone else trying to do any kind of disguising here?
Wait, didn't we have like a monster foot wrapped in the nun habit for a long time? Like,
Well, then I'm not wearing the nun's habit. I'm just wearing the dress.
do you have a spare? Has it been washed?
I'm not gonna wear something that's had a monster foot in it, so it's just the dress. She's just in like a nun dress.
Yeah. It's a different outfit.
Yeah, Temi is probably going to be wild shaping, so
Yeah.
I figure
to not concern.
General Wolf is good enough. But that's for later.
Yeah.
Eludere will just flick the hood up and disguise herself
Yeah, certainly.
as a cat, apparently.
Would Attenborough be the same? Not really concerned because you'd be wild shaping? Yes?
I don't know if he would want to like.
Wait, is that getting picked up? I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my mic's not registering.
I don't know. He want to reserve the wild shape for later. So
Oh,
I
yeah. I more meant like, you're not worried about it now because later you'll be wild shaping, was more what I meant.
Like
yeah,
Temi.
Yeah.
yeah. Or he will try to like put on a shirt or something.
Yeah.
Something
Like get in the
sacrilegious,
spirit of
Yeah.
like dressing up something differently, so you do the uncharacteristic thing of putting on a shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go like, oh, okay.
And he's like a little uncomfortable because he has to wear a shirt.
Kind of like got your arms up. It's just like I'm not used to having things in my armpits. Like
He's
I didn't like
"It's
this.
tight.
And what about Terra?
Oh my God.
Anything for her?
Well, I don't have anything to
I
disguise
can
myself.
temporarily disguise. I can dye your hair. I have a disguise kit. It has hair dye.
Sorry, just the image of you guys having to like stop for a moment just to dye Terra's hair is just a wonderful image for me.
Aww. Or like magazines, like 20 minutes or whatever.
It could theoretically be a good thing to do, like, on a watch or something as well, is an option
Yeah.
too. You don't have to necessarily do that here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like, she'd be game to do it, but it's also like, she's tall for most ladies. She's 5'9". She has really dark armor and a bright red sword. You know, I don't know how much disguise is gonna work, but
But if you walk in
Literally
with
put a
bright pink
cloak on
hair, no
top.
one will know who you are.
true, except for Clark Kent. Like, I have glasses now. You don't know who I am. Like,
Oh my god, it's like Sailor Moon.
hair dye power back up. You have to yell it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she'll let G do it, so it doesn't have to be now. It can be later and whatever.
Of course. But at least you have some kind of plan in place for potentially doing that later if you feel. And then you're off. So Book and Axis will say a quick goodbye to Ilyana, Berenal as they leave, and just kind of like do a little like, we'll be back to Ludan, who's upstairs, who's still sweating from the idea of Friend being on Axis's back. And you kind of go out to the front of the building. Actually, more specifically, the way that you get there. Book, the original book club members, G, Friend, and Terra know that this works, but Book will walk out of the library window and he will just completely just jump out of this window. And you look for a moment and you're like, the fuck is he doing? Like, is he going to, like, I don't know, transform in the air or something? You got no idea what's gonna go. But then you look down and you see that he is slowly but surely kind of moving down to the ground, and he ushers for you to follow. And as you have been made aware of before, within Book's lair, within 2 miles of this location, you are able to levitate at will to wherever you need to go, as long as you are a friend of Book.
Does Axis still fall and eat shit out of the window, or is that...
He hasn't come down yet, so you're not quite sure.
I can only hope.
For sure. But yeah, it's fairly easy for you all to run out. I'm assuming you all do, though? Yeah.
Seeing the older book club members, and we'd be like, okay, I guess that's it. Okay.
Are the new book club members considered friends? Because that's terrifying.
He's motioning to you in a way that suggests that, like, you know, it's more that you have to not be hostile towards him.
Okay.
Is more the thing.
Yeah, I think Temi would be very nervous, like, kind of like anxious about stepping off. But like, yeah.
If the others are nervous, Terra will go first. She'll be like, it's fine, double thumbs up, goes backwards.
Skydiving.
Yeah.
Just the... Love it. But yeah, you all head out, and as you do, you will slowly fall. No fear of injury, anything like that. Axis remains up in the library. Goes to take a step out of the door. And you know, there's like a look in his face for a moment. He's just looking down, and he's looking at Book, and he's looking down. Steps out, slowly falls back to the ground. And as he's falling about halfway down, he says to Book, and he's like, finally trust me. This took you long enough. Book gives him a bit of a look and drops him. And he just face plants immediately into the snow. And you all see an Axis-shaped imprint on the floor in front of you. He slowly picks himself up, dusting off the snow, and he's like, look, honestly, I probably deserved that one. Anyway, we're just gonna go from here. Alright. Perfect. And without even
Tree?
just... Oh yes, to go get trees. The dragons teleport into their dragon forms. You see in front of you very tall, very imposing forms of Book, the ancient silver dragon, and Axis, the adult black dragon. And they reach out to you, kind of either to let you up onto their backs or to go into their claws, whichever you feel is appropriate. They'll kind of take your guide on
Friend
that.
in there. Yeah.
Friend definitely needs to be held.
Temi
Friend
wants
is
to be
extra
otherwise going to
support.
be like roller coaster. No.
Yeah. Temi wants a never-ending story situation on books back, so I'm going to be writing.
Yep, easy.
Never-ending story.
Yeah, Eludere will go on the back of Axis.
Sure. So I believe that leaves us with Eludere, Friend, and Terra on Axis? And then
I am the
G-
safety harness.
Yep. So Friend's still getting picked up by the claws, but you're still safety harness?
It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. I've got rope.
Alright, sure. And then the other three are on books back instead. And you do feel very secure in your positions, but you do feel like, given a certain amount of speed, there may be an issue. And just for the fun of it, as you all take off, Book will take off very calmly, very chill, very relaxed, very graceful. You barely even feel the ascent. But Axis, kind of like a cat that's about to like jump onto like a fence or something like that, kind of does this bound and jump. And he's just got like 1 foot up to hold Friend and just like absolutely goes ham and jumps back up into the air. And it's a much more of a turbulent beginning. Book's just kind of floating on through, having a great time. You're all feeling very relaxed, very calm. You feel the cool wind hitting your faces, but it's not having any issue on you at all. Whereas Eludere, Terra, and Friend, you're having a very different experience. Axis just will kind of like flow through and he'll do a couple of barrel rolls and like he's just having an interesting time. Need each of you to make me a dexterity saving throw. Not super high DC, looking at a 10, but just in case. Friend, you'll get advantage because you're in his claws.
Access people, yeah.
If they are within 10 feet of me, well, I mean,
That
maybe
should be
not
everyone.
Friend.
That should be.
I don't need advantage because I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah, same.
Nice.
Oh, double!
Okay.
Which is
Dexterity, you said.
Dexterity saving throw.
Okay. It's 10 exactly.
Oh god. Alright. So Eludere and Friend, you have a great time. Axis is just moving through the air.
Yeah!
So like it's just a wonderful experience. It's just very freeing to kind of move through the air at that kind of speed, and it's not an issue at all. But you, Terra, as he kind of goes into one more of his spins, you kind of feel yourself about to lose your position on him. It's like when you're going on a roller coaster and they put you upside down, and you kind of lose your spot in the chair. It's kind of one of those moments. But then Axis will quickly right himself back up and it will kind of knock you back into your seat. And you're just kind of like, oh, I feel like I barely kept that going there. But you do continue on. It does turn out that despite Axis being quite fast, he's being very showy. So Book's kind of slow, gentle descent, even though it is so gentle and nice and wonderful and like you could have a cup of tea up here, it's quite fast because he's not doing all of this extra stuff. So roughly they get there about the same time. In fact, Axis is a couple of little loops around just to be an absolute pest, and you see Book's shaking his head as he go down. And you just eventually find yourselves at the base of the forest, which is just at the base of the mountains. And you've been keeping close to the mountains as much as you can, still being quite, like, inconspicuous if anyone was to be watching or anything in this distance. Just Axis is being a bit of a dickhead. But that's nothing out of the ordinary, really. And you do kind of note that, like, the wind and, like, the storm around you is kind of keeping around you all, that Book is kind of manipulating the weather, kind of follow your descent to kind of give you a bit more of an inconspicuous landing. But you eventually get your way down. You are all able to dismount without any issues. And you find that there is a large tree in front of you that kind of marks the beginning of this forest. And you see the path that heads back up to the tower. Book will remain in his dragon form and will nod in your direction as he heads back up. But Axis will transform back into his humanoid form and just kind of nod his head towards you and just... Alright, good to go then?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
Good to go.
Alright. tree, let it be. Show us what you got.
Tree, let it be. Okay. I guess Attenborough will be walking around and like touching the tree and might as well get a little understanding of what kind of tree could it be. Pine, area, Alps. Delicious information. I love to know. And then he will cast transport via plants, and a portal like literally the game portal will show up.
Yeah, love it.
And you can see through it, and the town is not too far away. It connected to a tree that was maybe a little walk away, so you don't just like whoop, bam in the town sort of thing.
For sure. I'd imagine it's probably pretty near that little clearing that you found by the lake, where you'd been hanging out to try and contact Ralafir.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly where you appear once you head through that portal. It's very easy. You feel the familiar pull of the portal as you go on through, but it's very, very easy. And before you even know it, you've appeared entirely in another place. The climate is entirely different. There's no longer the cold around you. Instead, it's a different kind of cold here. The cold was kind of like an artificial one. It's like if you were sitting in an air conditioner, as opposed to now where it is just cold. But you are in a nice little clearing. The night sky is bright overhead. Yeah, you're welcome to do what you need. What is the plan?
How much time did we save, like, going, like, because it would have taken us an hour to walk
Like,
down
it was like
mountains
10
and stuff,
minutes
so...
by riding
Okay.
them.
Okay, so it's like maybe 7:20 at most.
Yeah, like, you know, around about that, like, 7:15 kind of business. Close enough to 7 o'clock, you could still consider it 7 o'clock.
So should we see if we can try and attract the attention of Ralafir before we settle down for the evening?
I mean, if anyone has any ideas, I think it's worth trying.
Yeah, let him know our intention. Lost my whole mind.
Yeah.
Temi, brain.
Yeah. Slam dunk my brain somewhere else.
I guess. So if we're a little way away from the town, are we towards the like ice flow, like the ice in the lake, which is the only like the discerning thing that we saw in the scry was that there was ice in the water. Because like really close to town there was no ice in the water, and then in the scry there was ice in the water. So I guess we just moved
If
like
we were
beyond
near the clearing that you were at, there's still, like, the lake is massive. Even with, like, the city half extending into half of the city is extending into the lake, there's still so much distance before you even get to, like, the real snowier parts. And so, yeah, the trees that Attenborough would have known are still kind of, like, a decent ways away from any of the actual, like, colder bits. You just need to go for a bit of a walk. Which would be quite a significant, like, you're talking like a couple of hours kind of walk just to get there and then come back.
I was gonna say I can be a bat, but I do not go faster as bat.
Flying
Because
will
I'm
be
a
pain.
tiny creature. So
bat
I would
just
literally be
flaps
better off
its
just
wings really
walking.
hard.
Could you turn into a bat though, and then go in like Eludere's pocket? Because Eludere moves very quickly.
Absolutely. This is a good day for writing friends, apparently. Can absolutely do that.
Wait, we didn't bring the horses, right?
I mean, we could try and get attention, although Terra was the one that spoke with him.
I mean, considering how big this lake is, we could walk for hours, and he could have already moved on somewhere else. And if we do walk out that way, we don't find him, it's extra time to come back if we want to try and prevent collateral damage. I think maybe our best bet is to, unless we have a surefire way of contacting him or getting his attention, I think camp early, try and sleep early, wake up early, see if we can contact him before he does anything, hopefully.
Do we see, in the clearing that we're in, are there any tracks or anything that insinuate that there's movement, either from like hunters from the town or anything like that, that there has been people passing through this point at all, like recent times?
You can roll me a survival check.
16 plus 7. 23?
23.
23.
It's enough to note that, like, this is probably a pretty popular spot for, like, people who do fishing. Like, you see a lot of, like, footprints that are beside the lake that, like, they kind of remain in the same place there. But as you're kind of looking around, it kind of seems like this is probably the furthest out that most town people go. Like, there's no paths that lead, or, like, footprints that lead further around the lake than this. Like, this is kind of like the natural point of resting or like stopping for like as far out of the city as people will go. But there doesn't appear to be, and definitely with your 23 you would know this, there doesn't appear to be any footprints that suggest like someone went in the lake or anything like that that would be conclusive with being Ralafir's footprints.
Okay, so who's turning into a speedboat? Just over.
We are going to turn in early. We may want to just move beyond. I don't think people really go beyond this point, but if we don't want to be seen and don't want witnesses.
Yeah, move. Oh, good lord. Move into like a little bit of tree cover, maybe? Slightly out of the way.
Maybe a bit further ahead, a bit further along, get into some trees. I mean, we've got time.
There's no objections. I am going to start walking towards the trees. Everybody that has been in the book club for a while will know that G does not actually know how to pick a good place for camping. She has said once or twice that we should just camp in the middle of the road because it's flat. So if anybody is better at that,
Yeah,
you might want to catch up.
Eludere can help with that. She's good at picking camping spots.
G can put up a tent. Magically, she probably can't put up a real tent. But she cannot pick a good spot. Somebody else needs to do that for her.
Actually, you should probably look to the druids.
Yeah,
and
I was
just be
gonna
like,
say, I think
nature
Attenborough and
people.
Temi should, yeah.
Like,
Also
we'd
that.
be
Assist
nuts.
G. Yeah, we'll be guides.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. If you want to look for like a really decent spot, you're probably looking at a survival check.
Survival.
Yeah. For sure.
19 from me.
Nice. That's pretty damn good.
It's not so nice when my modifier adds +9.
Oh, but I mean, at least it means that you get like really good goes, though. Like
Yeah.
that's great.
I got a 26.
Easy, easy. So between the both of you, you absolutely, without a doubt, managed to find the best camping spot that you think that you could possibly find. You kind of follow where Elodie was pointing to kind of like the part where the footprints stop, and you feel like that is kind of the natural part where people stop kind of continuing further on. You do see that there is further tree cover and things from around the lake from around here. But you do manage to eventually, after walking for maybe a couple of minutes, you do eventually find a spot that would be perfect for setting up your tent. It's kind of got like this natural ground coverage around it that would help you with like sleeping on the floor. Like once you roll out your bed rolls, it's kind of something more comfortable. And there's plenty of room there that's unobstructed when you do set your tent up as well.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're looking to set up tent and camp and such, I guess you'll be going into, are you looking to keep watch? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you
Perfect.
think watches are a good idea?
What are your watch schedules?
Eludere can take first and last because she only needs 4 hours, and then she can do light activities like keeping watch and the other 4.
If I can, Temi would want to be at watch during the moon's like peak.
Mhm.
If that's okay.
Yeah, of course. You get the feeling that the moon has kind of come up a little early tonight, so you'd be looking about the first one.
Okay.
I think G would want to take last, and then she can be awake for a bit before she casts sending.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'll do whatever.
I guess I'll Attenborough take after Temi then.
Yeah, that's fair. So then that would be... So far we have Eludere and Temi for the first one. We have Attenborough for the second. And then there's G and Eludere for the third one. So then anyone feel free to fill in as you want, or don't. It's up to you.
I can jump in on the second one.
Sure. The friend and Attenborough in the second one.
Terra will offer if anyone thinks that they will need help.
Depends if
Like,
we're
I
doing
think
the Terra hair dye of
True.
301.
Oh yeah, you can wake up for the third watch.
Yeah, okay, do that.
And G will dye Terra's hair, and Eludere will actually do the watching.
You can still, like, you know, just take your gloves off and then go fight something. It'll be fun. But yes, so for the first watch, you're looking at Eludere and Temi, and you're kind of like getting yourself settled and such. Kind of this weird sense of calm is around you all, despite the fact that you obviously know that something is coming. With that, you begin your first watch. Firstly, please roll yourselves perception checks.
16, so 23, that's easy math.
Easy.
21.
21, 23. Love them both. So yeah, you managed to kind of keep a lookout. Is there anything in particular that you'd be looking for? I'd imagine definitely watching the lake, but...
Yeah. I think just taking note of any movement in general surrounding, like mainly the lake
Yeah.
and for dragons. What's Axis doing? Did Axis offer to take anyone?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh,
Axis is
yeah.
here. He's just like, peace. And it's just like, put his hat over his head and he's just sleeping or something.
His
over his
group
hat.
effort was being taxing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
He's like,
get
I
the
don't have to do the
feeling
watch. I did my job.
that
He signed out a shift.
unless anyone wants to specifically talk to him, he won't be present for any of the watches. He will magically wake up if anyone feels like they want to talk to him. But...
Yeah, so mainly the lake, I think.
Yeah. During that, I guess Temi would probably be looking more like sky level things. Because during this time, she's looking at the moon more than watching. Wow, so selfish.
But also, like, the moon's not necessarily a bad place to look because, like, reflections of light, if there was to be
Light,
a dragon
yeah.
go through the sky, like, that's not
Yeah.
unreasonable. But yeah, nothing of consequence seems to happen during your watch, except that you kind of spot or you hear a lot of wildlife around you and things. A small frog will like strode up to your cam and you can hear it because it's being loud and obnoxious. To the point that like a lot of the other members of the party will like be rustling as this thing is just like and as you stare at it as well, you see those bright green eyes on this frog as it's just kind of staring you down. Blinks. Or technically it does the whole like lick its eye thing to do its blinking, but you know, that's grand. But it will just sit there and just stare at you, and every now and then it's just a brrrr.
If I'm assuming that Eludere would know, and I would think Temi would probably definitely know that that's not usually frog-like behavior to like approach a group of sleeping people and.
It's definitely uncharacteristic. It's not unheard of, but it's uncharacteristic.
I think if people were stirring, Eludere would probably go over and like gently scoop it up and go to move it back to like the shoreline.
Yeah. The frog will go back to the shoreline and it just like looks at the water and it looks back at you and it looks back at the water and it does that goofy like, I don't know if you've seen like frogs like fling themselves as opposed to like actually jumping, but it just kind of like flops as it tries to like go back into the forest. It's just being a pest.
She'll just smile at it and just like shake her head a little and walk back and sit back down.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, you have some time. Is there anything you specifically want to do on your watch?
Yeah, Eludere would probably want to talk to Temi about the fight.
Yeah, I was waiting for this.
Sorry is the wrong word because it was a tournament, but I did feel a little guilty with my haste in that fight.
It's all part of the fight. I thought you were incredible, and it was an honor to fight you.
Not my first tussle, but I felt bad after you and Attenborough showed such vigor towards getting into fist fighting to come in like that.
I mean, someone had to do it to him. I'm happy it was you.
Maybe.
But one more second and I could have turned into a wolf and it would have been all over for you. So.
Well, that, in honesty, is what I was trying to
may
prevent.
never know what happens.
I mean, I did want to offer, though, seeing as you were alongside me in the final fight, I can't use the armor, and if Book was wanting it to be used for good, if it's something that you can utilize, of course, if you're not comfortable with that, I understand. It's a very interesting artifact.
That is an incredibly generous offer. And I think
on it.
Yeah, I think like Temi knows she'll take a hit because unfortunately her AC is terrible. But like, yeah.
You don't have to make a decision now. I just thought I'd extend the offer, seeing as it's something that I physically will not be able to use anyway. I find that being unencumbered is a bit handier for myself in combat.
I'll think about it, thank you.
Book said that if it's used for good, then
something that's forged in unfortunate circumstance can become good. And I feel like if you did choose to wear it, that it would do good. But we've only just met, so might be a bad
could
judgment
be-
call.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
well, we'll see. But that's very generous of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think like now, Temi would kind of. This would like really be a moment where Temi's looking to the moon, like for guidance, kind of. Like I think she's gonna have a bit of a quiet moment. I feel like Eludere has that vibe too, where they could probably sit in silence and be content with each other's company. So I think, yeah, Temi would kind of be meditating almost, kind of seeing what she thinks is the right thing to do, because that's, yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Looking for an outward sign.
What about Toddlington?
I think Toddlington would be asleep somewhere. I don't think he's up at all.
He's like
So
a cat. He sleeps like
cold.
20 hours a day.
Yeah. Maybe during this time, Temi would also be like crafting a little bit. Like she'd be like mindlessly like doing something. And I know that she has been thinking about crafting something a bit more comfortable for Toddlington to rest in, because the bag's not really that comfy.
Yeah.
So
A mini bed?
a mini bag. A mini Toddlington only bag.
That's
Out of,
really
like,
good.
Yeah, like vines and things, or just regular forest debris.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. And as you like kind of have a bit of a moment to yourselves, just kind of thinking and such, just getting your moment to kind of do the things that you need to do and all that kind of thing. Temi, you kind of like look up to the sky, still continuing to watch it, looking for any glimmer of movement. Eludere watching the kind of shoreline and kind of across the lake, looking for anything there. Even though you don't see anything in terms of dragon, Temi, you do spot that for a brief moment in the night, the wind kind of moves, and the moon is kind of directly overhead at this point. And as the trees kind of shift, you see a bit of the moonlight kind of settles over Eludere in one of the moments where she's just kind of looking to her hands or doing something kind of idly. And you see for a moment she's kind of bathed in that moonlight. And then suddenly in the space, in the clearing around you, you see that it slowly shifts and moves around each of the people that are sleeping and resting beside you. Maybe a little bit shadowy over Axis, but mostly there. But you do kind of see that moment, and you have that kind of reverie of the moonlight washes over them, and kind of there's that kind of fantastical moment of just breathe, rest, safety, especially kind of ripples through the, I assume, the hut that has been set up. Yep. And it's
Sorry,
just a
I
really
didn't
nice
actually say
moment.
it when we were discussing watches. I was going to say, while we're talking about this, I'm spending 10 minutes to put up a tent.
I assumed because we had that conversation already that
Yeah.
like it was already done. Yeah, you just kind of get that moment to kind of contemplate that for a second. Maybe a few minutes after, the wind moves again. The moonlight fades from the little clearing around you, but again disappearing last from Eludere. Next watch, my friends. You don't have an issue at all on this first watch. You still feel like it's relatively early. You're still looking at, like, this is before midnight. Like, you've had an early night's sleep, my friends. But yes, you wake up everyone for their next watch. You have Attenborough and Friend taking on second. So, you both get yourselves set up. Feel free to roll me perception checks for your second watch.
Oh, I rolled a 16.
16 of that.
I rolled a 4. But I do have +7, so it's 11, but not
That's
good.
not the worst. It is enough that as you go both kind of looking out, and are you kind of doing a similar thing, like watching the lake a lot more, or are you watching the city, or what's the
Probably
vibe?
the lake, because that's where we last saw our friend.
Fair.
And
So yeah, as you're kind of like getting a moment to look out there during your watch, nothing of note appears to you that you can see. But you do get a moment to kind of amongst yourselves just to connect with your thoughts, do whatever you feel. Is there anything in particular you want to do for your rest?
Shadow is with me, by the way.
Yeah.
The baby.
I want to pet the cat.
Do you
Shadow
think
goes
Shadow would be
over.
receptive?
Oh yeah. Shadow will go over and head butt into friend and go for ask for cat. Like
Yes,
that.
cat. Oh, give scritches. Friend has weirdly long fingernails for no reason, so good for cat scritches.
Oh my god, it's like that head massage thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Cats love it. Shadow is just having the best time.
So,
But yeah, I don't have anything I particularly want to do. Friend would just ask a bunch of pointless questions that I personally can't think of right now, and won't make you roleplay the answers to.
love
So
this
just
and
ask all sorts of questions.
well, I mean, Attenborough is also an uncle.
Uncle.
Age. That he will just answer you anyways. The best way he can.
Friend usually has those types of people around them.
Yeah. Will you tell me about the birds and the bees that everyone keeps mentioning?
The birds and the bees.
Yeah, I know about birds and I know about bees, but people keep saying the birds and the bees like it's some sort of secret combination. What are the birds and the bees doing? Why can't I know about it?
It's like trying to recall, what the fuck are they talking about? I entered this group and I don't understand a single thing they're talking about.
You don't know
birds-
their secrets either, do you?
The birds and the bees and the thing about they don't want to talk to you about it yet. Wait. It was because you're still too young and you're waiting to become of age to know about this knowledge.
Yes,
that one?
I think that they're just making excuses to hide it from me because to know would make me too powerful.
I think
True.
takes out a pipe. I think they're just sort of afraid of explaining what it could mean. Oh my god, look at Jack.
So cute.
I would like to take this opportunity and say that Shadow is basically like Jack on Friend. Is like with the head, with the claw thing on the head. Is like
Didn't
can't.
hurt.
I don't have control of my body anymore.
So sweet.
Oh, so cute. Well, Friend, you said you were created. Was that correct?
Yes.
Like in a cauldron with ingredients, or
Oh, I don't know. Just out of, the Fabric of the Void or something. Probably.
Okay. Interesting. How I put this? I'm not sure what they are trying to describe with the birds and the bees, because I have no clue. I can only see birds and I can only see bees, and they're great. And they are two different things, but
I agree.
but I guess they're just trying to. It is a little bit difficult to explain to someone when the creation method is a little bit different, I say.
I love how hard you're trying. I see. Oh, no, I don't. But it's okay, I'll wait until they will tell me. Thank you for trying, though.
You're welcome. I'm not sure if I imparted anything.
You
at
didn't.
all.
No.
That's
No,
great.
nothing.
That's
nothing
wonderful.
useful whatsoever.
Oh, that's
But I
perfect.
appreciate the effort.
That is perfect. Exactly what I wanted to do.
That's very good.
Ah, yes. Remind me again next time if we want to polymorph into the bag of animal holding, because that was a phenomenal time.
Okay, I would like to go.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I was supposed to draw it out and then like take out like a sheet of paper and then start like drawing some like what he saw in there. Oh my god.
It's pretty.
Yes, so many flowers.
I like
And the flowers
flowers.
taste sensational, like a pie.
You eat them?
Yeah, I ate some. And it was fulfilling and
What kind of pie?
which one? So I had one and it tasted like just a normal meat pie, but the second one really tasted like an apple.
Apple. An
Yes.
apple pie.
Yes.
In my bag.
Don't be mistaken, my friend. I believe it will be the food that you like the most that it would taste like.
I don't trust apples.
And that's why they get eaten by me. I think that's fine.
You're doing a good job of keeping us all safe from the apples.
Oh yes,
Thank
I think
you.
it's a very important job. Thank you very much.
You
Maybe
do
it
a
will
very
taste
good
like
job.
that was supposed to be a dead laugh. Ha 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 ha. Maybe it would taste like mushroom juice for you. I don't know. So your
Mushroom
favorite
pie.
mushroom pie. Well, now that's that's something.
Yeah, it's very good. Thinking about apple pie.
The
How
image that I had in my
dare.
brain when you're like, not apples, I immediately just thought of this, like, you know, when like in anime and stuff, how like the sky will go like dark and shit. It's
Oh.
immediately what I imagined.
Immediately, the black
A
shadow.
cloud passes over the moon.
Yeah.
Apples!
The background just goes completely black.
Yep.
Yeah.
Completely.
Harsh shadow cast over the face.
Yeah. And yeah, as you're kind of sitting there, nothing of interest kind of happens during your watch. You're kind of passing over the midnight part of the watch as it comes to an end. You're looking at like, yeah, around about that midnight time. and you kind of both just kind of get to sit there and enjoy your time, just kind of sitting in the forest. It's nice to relax and have a brief moment of reprieve. And Attenborough, you with your back kind of against a tree, just kind of sitting and watching. You feel the tree behind you, as you're quite familiar with trees yourself. You feel almost like it kind of slowly moves to embrace you in a very subtle kind of way. Kind of managed to find your groove. It's kind of like sitting on a pile of grass and you kind of make it comfortable for yourself. Very similar idea for this tree.
Indentation.
Yeah. Just like the slightest one to make it
Sink
just a
into the
little bit
tree.
more comfortable. Even as you drift off to sleep, it's almost like the roots beneath you kind of part ways to stop from hurting your back or your sides. And yeah, you drift off to sleep, your watch going without an incident, and then the three of you wake up for your third watch, which would be Eludere, Terra, and
Presuming we have to roll.
so yeah, perception rolls, please. Start off with that one. So you're looking at probably around about the 12:30, 1 o'clock mark for you all. Around about now?
Just checking if my goggles help at all.
They should at nighttime, I think.
Well, in condition. Oh, wait. Yeah, checks that rely on sight. In conditions of clear visibility, I can make out details of even extremely distant creatures and objects as small as 2 feet across. Thank you.
It's probably not
character
like
sheet.
super clear.
Yeah.
But it's not like unclear.
Good.
It's not like fog. It's just dark.
21 for Eludere.
Love that for you.
I got a nat 20, so I got 30.
Nice.
Even though I said I wasn't going to be paying any attention.
I got a 15, which is like the euphoria of a nat 20 for me.
That's
so-
pretty damn good, yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, I didn't even do advantage. I'm stupid. Never mind.
But yeah, so with most of your watch, nothing of importance happens. How will you be spending your watch? Again, I'm guessing it's Lake you mostly, as opposed to anything else. Cool.
Because that's where we know Mr. Dragon was, at least.
I mean, if there's like, I know that we're kind of sheltered in by the trees, but if the like, probably Terra would be trying to keep an eye out on like the way they came, as well. Like, you know, just because there were no tracks and that was the natural stopping point. She's like, but what if tonight's the night? You know.
Yeah.
And presumably, if we can, while we're doing a watch, Terra would be getting her hair dyed, whatever color G decides. So,
Yeah, what color would G decide to dye her hair?
I don't know, because the first thing that I thought was like pink, but G's favorite color is like blue, so I don't know if she'd go for blue. Or if I don't know even if she'd go with like the amber orange color, because, you know, blue and orange are kind of like her colors. I don't know. Let's decide. I'm gonna roll a d6, and on odds it will be blue, and on evens it will be pink. Terra's getting pink hair.
It'll match with the red on the outfit, it's fine.
Yeah, but I'm imagining kind of like, because it says it's a disguise kit and it has like hair dyes and cosmetics and stuff, and I'm assuming it's like the hair chalks.
Yeah.
So if she falls in the river, we're fucked. Because this is definitely a very effective disguise.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, pink hair.
I'm pretty sure do you have proficiency with the disguise kit? I'm pretty sure you do, but checking.
I'm pretty sure I do, but I also have all of my skill thing is all filled up, and so it's not on there. It says that I have proficiency with thieves' tools.
I'm pretty sure
but
you got the
I
disguise skill
remember
as
we
part
did
of
that.
being a glamour bard, right?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe. I don't.
From
I'm
what I
pretty
can
sure I
remember.
have. I'm pretty sure I have proficiency, but I don't have expertise with that one.
I don't think you can get expertise with a tool. Fairly sure. Because you add your proficiency bonus to ability checks using a tool. I think, off the top of my head. I'm not entirely sure. Otherwise, if you had like expertise in stealth, and then you're like, have expertise in like a disguise kit, and you're just like expertise on expertise, like I
have
so many
expertise
numbers.
in thieves' tools. I don't see it written anywhere that I have it in the disguise. So
It's fucked.
yes, it is.
Well fucked.
That's why I got rid of knock. Because I didn't really need it anymore.
Oh, because there's proficiency bonus to ability checks, not to skill checks. Okay, I got that wrong. So yeah, that would make sense then that you can have expertise in it. So then, I would imagine if you're looking to dye it for the purposes of disguise, it would be a charisma check. And add your proficiency bonus to that because you're using the disguise kit that we're assuming that you're proficient in. But not entirely sure.
I will have to double check that at some point in time.
I'm assuming you would be.
I'm pretty sure.
But yeah. Otherwise, why would you have it? You wouldn't just buy a disguise kit. But...
Okay, I rolled an 8, which isn't great, plus my charisma, which is 4, plus my proficiency, which is 4, so it's 8 plus 8. That's easy math. That's 16. That's
16.
not excellent.
16 is good enough that, like, it's not, like, the best. It's kind of like when you apply a semi-permanent dye and it's not entirely the color that you want, but it's still different. It's like when you get, like,
accidentally dye her hair purple in between the two colors I was flipping up with.
You get the blue out, but it's actually, like, comes out this weird purple color. But yeah, it is still pink. It's just not, like, as bright as probably what you're intending. You kind of get more of, like, a mauve than, like, a bright hot pink. But yeah, you're definitely able to do the dyeing part. You just kind of get to spend some time doing that. Is there anything else you want to do in your watch?
Probably just, like, I don't have anything specific to say. A little bit of small talk. Probably apologize for throwing Eludere and under the bus a bit with the armor thing, but also with the justification of, well, you won it, so it's kind of your problem. Because G is a little shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm receiving an apology or an explanation of my duties.
You just get, like, a shruggy thing.
Yeah. So if there's nothing in particular that you're all looking, your watch mostly passes that incident. Once you roughly get to around the 3:30 mark is when your long rest officially ends. Gain the full benefits of a long rest. And as everyone is kind of rising from their position, you hear someone in the distance kind of moving around near a light that's coming from the village that's kind of nearer the lake. Like I said, half of Delwyn is kind of like put into the lake itself. So kind of under a street lamp, just very close to that lake part, you kind of see someone slinking in the shadows or disappearing further in. And it's the only kind of real movement that you've seen of significant note throughout the entire night. But everyone else is slowly awakening.
Would they have gotten within 120 feet?
I just don't know what 120 feet actually looks like, if you know what I mean.
That's only like 45 meters.
I would imagine
like
they're further
maybe
away
even
than
less.
that. Yeah. that you can see them because they're under light, but they're not within 120 feet.
I mean, I'll pass on that I saw someone sneaking.
Did you make out any features at all?
Did I make out any features at all?
At this
Or
distance,
is it just someone a real long way away?
you're mainly seeing them because you rolled so high. You can at least see that they are a medium-sized creature. They appear to be standing on 2 legs, but there's nothing distinguishable from this distance.
Yeah, no, not really.
Well, if everyone's
It's
rousing.
person? I think. Probably.
Did you want to send a message, or shall we move closer down? Are they moving away from the lake, towards the lake? Coming from anywhere in particular that you remember in the town?
Who's going towards the town?
Towards the town, coming from the lake's general direction.
I'm just going to, because I think G would just assume that it's Ralphia because he's going to be heading into town and he's a human person. And she will share that, but not with like the confidence of it was absolutely Ralphia. Just like, I'm just assuming that it was because that's where he's got to go and that's where we're going to go and it makes sense. Yeah, what should I be saying in the message? Hey, we left, but then we came back and we're here to help.
Probably don't need to mention the going and coming back bit. I don't think that really serves a purpose, to be honest.
Well, he told us to go, so, you know, we're kind of saying we did what you told us to, but then we changed our mind.
What words do you have? Do you have the
25.
words? I don't think that that's really the pivotal piece of information that you should be.
Well, I get we went away and then we came back and we're here to help. That's all in 25 words. Do we need to add it? Like, what else do we want to add?
Do we want to give him a location of where we are? Do we want to say we have information on the Hellfires in terms of numbers? Do we want like anything combat-wise that could help?
Well, I figure we can just get him to probably meet us here. Sorry, I'm going to write this down so that I actually can figure out if it's 25 words.
Should we say that we know what he is and we want to help?
Mention that we're a friend of dragons.
Hey, we're here to help. We know what you are. Kind of. I've been in trouble before for sending messages that come across in a way differently than the way that I wish to send them. We know stuff about the Hellfires. Meet us at... we have information. That will help. Meet us location. Meet us at location. Okay. When I say meet us at location, how many words do you think it would take to explain the location?
Clearing. I'm assuming Eludere knows which direction from town we are. I don't. I can't.
Yeah,
But, like,
you're
clearing.
you're to the north
South?
of town.
North.
But because the town it faces kind of the. Sorry, I had to do the never eat soggy wheat bix thing. It faces the west generally, so like you're north of that.
Do you think it would take under 11 words? Meet us at clearing I don't know, like amount of meters I don't need to actually know from road?
It is up to you, my dear.
I mean, he gets to respond, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're here to help. We're a friend of dragons. You could add, we're not a friend of the Hellfires. We're at a clearing north of town. Something along those lines. And then if you've got words left over, we left, but we're back now.
Okay, I've added in Friends of Dragons. Hey, we are here to help. We are Friends of Dragons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have information that will help. Meet us at clearing north of town. I've lost count, but that's like 21. So we good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send
You
that.
could add a we
Hey,
left, but back.
Left but back.
We left, we back.
I'm actually going to say his name. I'm gonna be like, hey, Ralphie, instead of just like, hey, I'm a voice in your head. I'm just making assumptions on who you are. And yeah, I'm going to cast sending and send that. I can repeat it again if you'd like me to, but I think everybody's heard my drafts about 5 times.
Yeah, we definitely heard what you intend to say. Everyone's kind of roused at this point and ready to go. And as you send this message, it kind of takes a moment. Your spell does connect on the other end.
Please respond.
A solid please respond. And as it does, it takes a few moments before there's a return message, but you hear in a whispered tone. Sorry, I'm actually throat's just like. You hear a very sharp and like husky voice in return that doesn't sound entirely like Ralafir. It says, I can't come to meet you. I'm heading to the Tainted Tendril now. If you insist on helping, come help.
I will relay that onwards and add that he sounds kind of grumpy.
And you do also like have a note of like, there's like a I don't have the type of voice to be able to do this, but there is like a distortion to his voice, kind of like a growl, or like I imagine kind of like a lizard, I guess best. Like, you know, the voices that you hear from like Skyrim or like Elder Scrolls, how the Argonians speak, very like husky and notable.
Look, I really wish I could spend another sending spell to be like, it is 3:30 in the morning. Why do you have to be there so early? But instead, I guess we're heading into town. Unless anybody else has sending. And it feels like adding to that. Also, I think he's a dragon. Not like I think he's a dragon, I think he's currently a dragon. He sounds dragony. Wait, we've actually heard Axis speak as a dragon. Would I make the assumption that that kind of sound is different than when he's a human?
You
'Cause
know that
I've
he can
decided that.
kind of put it on. Like, it's not like he doesn't have to be a dragon to make that kind of noise. It's just Axis is a different breed altogether. He is constantly acting like a sweet talker. Like,
He's not like other dragons.
but I'm
He's
only like
built different.
like he's more. Most of the time that you've interacted with him has never been in an actually directly aggressive way. He's always been kind of trying to speak with you, sweet talk you, whatnot. But you do get the feeling that if he was a dragon, you would at least hear it a little more than that. Like, it's not like their voice changes when they are a dragon. This is definitely a voice that's put on. That makes sense.
Trying to intimidate me.
Like, even as when Book and Axis were transformed into dragons before, they didn't have that type of voice. Like, it's definitely a put-on voice.
To conceal his identity, maybe? Like, to other people around him if he doesn't feel safe? Can other people hear your sending message? Like, do you know what I mean? No?
I think you speak telepathically, as
Okay.
far as I'm
Yeah.
aware.
It's a message in your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we should
So it's
probably
to
move
us.
if we need to. It's that sultry morning voice when he just, it's just because he hasn't spoken to anyone yet. You know, when you wake up and you first try and talk to someone and you have like a gravelly voice? That's all it is. Yeah. Well, should we make a move if we're going to go assist?
How far are we from town? Like, if we were gonna walk, because
Decent ways. Like, not
okay.
huge, but like decent.
Okay. Well, I feel like if I can't do it, it's hang on. I know how to read. Wait. Heck, no, I don't. I have so many spell cards and so little time to read. I feel like considering we are like at least a little fair distance from town, Terra would have been spending the last 10 minutes casting Find Steed just in case to get my boy, so that at least one or two of us can kind of rush, kind of hopefully stall him for a bit, before everybody else gets there, something like that. So, if I'm allowed, I will find Steve.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, while G is kind of sussing out what they're going to be saying, all of that kind of thing, you have no issue summoning Salathiel. It kind of takes a few extra minutes, but you do manage to do that. So your special summoned horse is before you.
Old Town Road. Well, if we need to go now, if someone wants to come with me now, I can try and be. Well, I mean, hang on, he probably hasn't even got like a faster speed.
This is
Oh no,
kinda
he has
fast.
60 feet.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah. Not as quick as Eludere, but
College's got 50 feet. Later she'll be faster, but
Ooh.
monks at this level, she's got 50.
but yeah, if we're going right now,
Yeah.
I
Do you
can
want to go?
dash, so I can go pretty fast as well.
Mm. Yeah, well, because like a horse or a steed can dash as well on that action, correct? So that would be 120 feet around. Eludere can do 100.
Yeah. You're looking at
And
like fairly decent time.
I think it's because it's really early, so it's low light. Eludere technically can do 160 because she can shadow step as a bonus action in a round as well. So yes, Eludere is faster at the moment just because
Does anyone
blinking.
need to be taken anywhere? Because I was thinking about wild shaping into the giant owl, because I can always take people as well.
I guess
Yeah.
the thing to note here is as well, are you looking to do a stealthy approach? Or are you just looking I know you're all disguised, well, most disguised, but
Yeah, would a giant owl be very weird?
The weirdest thing that's gonna happen tonight.
I kind of figure we go pretty quickly until we get to like the outskirts of town, and then we probably want to try and sneak.
Yeah.
sure.
Eludere can do pass without trace, which won't help us with stealth, but it means that we won't make a sound when we approach at least. And we won't leave tracks. We'll just like,
The
you'll
last
still
was
see
like
our
an
limbs.
hour, I think.
Regular
Yeah.
owl.
An hour, yeah. It's not concentration? An
Pretty
hour.
sure it's concentration, but
It is
I know it's an
concentration.
hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wouldn't be an issue at all. That's what you're looking to do. So if you're looking to go on horse, for those of you that can and kind of shadow stepping and stuff, you're still probably looking at about 15 minutes. Like, it's still a decent walk. It's kind of like fairly around the ways, but 15 minutes with your improved speed. Those who aren't able to use the horses will take a little longer. But yeah, I reckon you could probably fit maybe 2 people on Schniff. Schniff, that's not who it is.
Schniff.
We were just talking about that. A Salathiel.
Shanice.
Haven't said that name
I know.
here.
Galathiel's middle name is now Schniff, I've decided.
Aw.
But yeah, reasonably 2 people could go on Salathiel, but kind of at the speed that you're looking to go, it also wouldn't be stealthy. But like, it would be a disadvantage on stealth, but you can also do the whole like up to the town kind of deal, which would be that 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think like excuse me, like my thinking was like, yeah, just kind of rushing us, like just getting us like as much distance as possible, and then trying to not, you know, like not banging pots and pans down the street at 3 o'clock in the morning, like there's something happening, like not wanting to do that. Yeah, I think so. Elodie is okay. I'll go on Salathiel, otherwise I'll be very slow. So excuse me, friend or G or yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends on what the rest of you want to do, but yeah, I have a spot on my horse.
Axis also needs somewhere to go, otherwise he's gonna be slow.
Take Axis.
Wait, what is Temi doing?
I was either thinking of being an owl because we can travel pretty quickly as an owl. But if we wanted to be a bit more utility kind of, I could be a wolf as well, or an elk even. You can go pretty quick as an elk.
Both those can be ridden too.
And then yeah, you could just hop on my back instead of wild shaping.
Episode 5, riding on friends.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. Well, I'll
Lol.
be a wolf. We'll just keep it going. Keep the theme going.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Because I'm the only one that's not disguised, right? Because Attenborough has a shirt on. Everyone else is kind of solid, but me.
Yeah.
Yes, so the plan is Axis and Terra on Salathiel, Eludere just running. G, what's your plan?
Also run, because I can bonus action dash and then I can use my action to dash and I can go 90 feet, which isn't quite as fast as everybody else.
That's still decent.
But
all right.
Faster than Friend.
Very true.
think.
What is Friend doing?
Friend-
have we accounted for Friend in any of like the other things?
I was thinking Friend would owl, but it's not an owl anymore, so I don't know. Maybe they have some kind of eldritch scuttle.
I don't believe that they do. I think they would just be running, but we can double
Bye,
confirm
Bobby.
when Jimmy gets back. Let's say, for the hell of it, just to kind of zoom this along, because it's really not an important part of the night, that you would be able to fit 2 people on Temi's back, even as a wolf. Just for this particular instance, it's absolutely fine. So yeah, you're still looking at that 15-minute mark to get everyone over there. And as you're kind of like approaching the town, you're kind of seeing the dull light from the lights on the streets and things. You can kind of stop, kind of collect yourselves and assign yourselves as you will in order to head on through the town to the Tainted Tent. Are you looking to approach stealthily? And are you still
Absolutely
approaching
yes,
in?
and if at any point in time I get within 120 feet of Ralphia and I can see him, I'm gonna fucking message him and say, fucking slow down.
Precisely, just 2 words. Fucking slow down.
But yeah, as you're approaching, you're kind of keeping an eye out with your passive perception, so you don't have any issue noting that there is no one around. Like, everyone seems to be well and truly asleep, especially at this time in the morning. But again, are we doing stealthy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then let's roll stealth checks.
do we see tracks as well? Like, do we see, now that we're in town, Rutherford's tracks at all?
You kind of see like a series of tracks around you. You can definitely like roll to actively look for tracks if you would like. That will be survival. I was like, what's the skill?
19, so 26.
26. It's enough to note that you kind of see these very light footprints amongst the kind of heavy-footed footsteps around. You get the feeling that a lot of those heavier footsteps are like from people who have kind of come back from the tavern drinking and all of that kind of thing. But there are definitely some light footprints that would be conclusive or consistent with his own. But you're not entirely sure. There's kind of like a mixture of footprints amongst, but you do get like, there's like a gut feeling for it that you get the feeling that it's his.
I am going
Everyone
to
plus
I'm
10 to stealth because of Pass Without a Trace.
Oh, good lord, this is a big fucking number.
Holy shit.
Look, I'm going to give Bardic Inspiration to Terra because I know she's not very sneaky. So she can add a D8 to that number, even with the Pass Without Trace. Just cause. Just need the help still.
I have just realized my horse has better dexterity than me. Wow.
Your horse isn't wearing heavy armor, so you know.
Yeah, true. Well, if I like stay on Salathiel and kind of can I have Salathiel do the check, like, or
I feel like
not really. It's fine.
kind of, if you're looking to be stealthy, I feel like approaching on a horse isn't exactly a stealthy move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's like he's magic, so I thought I'd try, but it's fine. I knew it was a lost cause.
Is this a group check?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I got a
I mean,
41.
unless you're going differently.
I got a 41 too!
Well, they do
I
have
got a
plus 10.
17. I was like, fuck yeah,
We both
baby,
have
17.
expertise.
Oh,
So that
Stealth
did
check,
you
yeah.
did you get a 17? So then plus 10, or did you already add the plus 10 from Pass
I
Without
got
Trace?
a
oh,
19 plus my 12 plus your 10.
Yeah.
Jesus.
oh, I
So
didn't add.
I've cast Pass Without a Trace, so you get a plus 10 to your stealth roll.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
27,
so
baby.
241s, which is ridiculous. So how much did you get, Temi? Would that be
27.
27? All right, Attenborough.
I got a nat 20 on that one.
Nice. So what does that make it in
It's
total?
a 20 plus 1. 21 plus the
31.
10 is 31.
31.
Ridiculous.
It's a bit sad having the little plus one though.
Yeah, it's like, I guess I could dash one more step.
But yeah, feeling very stealthy. Terra,
Oh.
how about you, friend? Rolling for a stealth check.
I got 22.
Nice. Is that including the Pass Without Trace?
I have a 0 modifier.
Pain.
Otherwise, not possible.
Oh god.
I'm so sad. I got a 19 and a 7 because I have disadvantage because my armor. And I'm like, 19! And then I was like, oh, wait, no, disadvantage. It's not advantage. So that's 7 minus 1 is 6. Plus 10 is 16. And I got a 6 on the D8,
Hey.
which is
24.
22?
Wait, what?
Wait.
Yeah, 22. 16.
Oh,
Yeah,
16
yeah.
plus
Plus
6,
16
sorry.
6 is 22.
Yeah, 22, my bad.
Okay.
You all feel. I don't think I've ever set a group check for everyone, and every single person has passed. But congratulations, my friends. You feel that you are basically invisible to everyone. However, I will still roll a check. You're gonna hear it. Feel like
Eludere is invisible as well, which if it's for Ralphir doesn't really matter, I
But
guess. But
good to know as well.
yeah.
And also you are all in disguise as much as possible. So yeah, you do feel that you are banished from sight, like just done. We're out of here. And as you're kind of like approaching through town, just kind of moving through the shadows as much as possible, you feel as a cohesive group as you're moving on through. As you approach the Tainted Tendril, you don't really see any movement from the outside. If you're looking to kind of get any kind of looks in a bit closer or anything along those lines, a perception check will be required as you're kind of approaching to assess the situation. Feel free to make that as a group if you'd like. I'm happy with that.
I get advantage as a wolf.
Yay!
Yay!
We just picking someone or all doing individual?
Group check is fine. Group check would even be preferable because then
What-
you can kind of like.
What do you
spot
say
things
this was?
Perception
for?
check.
Perception? Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 16.
So I got a 16. Why am I
15.
matching everyone's numbers tonight? It's like-
I got a 12. That advantage was
Aw.
wasted.
Damn.
18.
16.
And what about Attenborough? Sorry, you might have said, but I. I've lost
15.
it. Then we successfully have everyone fail the check immediately after that. It's awkward. But as you approach the Tainted Tendril, it looks normal. Nothing appears to be out of the ordinary. How will you approach this? You can kind of see like the room where you were staying, like the window for it from this direction, but otherwise, yeah, can't really see much else.
Did we see at all when we were staying there? Did we, like, all the lodgings I'm guessing is on the top floor, like the floor we were staying on? Did we see any of the Hellfires go to any particular rooms? Like, did we?
Not really. You do get the feeling though that they would have been in similar locations to you all. Kind of getting an idea of like the people that were in there. You get the feeling that most of the like higher ups were staying in the same place. So would be in kind of rooms similar to the ones that you stayed in. Like in like a similar location.
Because Eludere would probably. She's invisible. She can't make hand gestures at people. She would probably whisper to whoever's closest to her, like, I can check in the top floor and look for. Is there like an end landing? So there's like all the rooms. Is there like a window on the end that's just looking into the hallway or something like that?
Yeah, I would imagine there would be like a balcony. So you would have like a shared balcony space that would be like on the second floor. That would be like difficult but not super difficult for you to access from the outside. And that would lead you to either two windows beside the rooms that are nearest there, or even to inside the actual building itself, once you've scaled up into that balcony.
Because I was going to say she'd just shadow step up if it's within 60 feet.
Yeah, then that wouldn't even be an issue at all. You get like a little bit closer to the building and then just shift through those shadows and head straight up there. Like there's like, the moon's kind of like quite bright at this point, but there's like quite a significant like, and obviously it's nighttime still. The moon's only so bright. Like...
Can she see anything?
Oh,
through
sorry.
the window?
So were you looking to
Like,
go in the door or just look through the windows, or what are you? What are
well,
you
so
planning on doing?
first look in and see if there's anyone in that immediate space.
Okay. You look into the balcony bit. You kind of looking through the two windows there, and you kind of see that the curtains are drawn. You get the feeling you'd have to like look in somewhere else for these rooms in particular, but the door is unlocked. It's kind of like a little bit off, like it's like not clicked back in. So it's fairly easy to just kind of lever it open and go in.
Can she see into the hallway at all? Like,
You can...
is that because it's looking into rooms, but she was like looking just into like the walkway that leads into rooms? If there's...
As you can kind of like anchor yourself on the door, like where it's like slightly open to like kind of be like, can I see anything? Roll me a perception check.
27.
27.
Nat 20.
27, you very easily see from your position at the door that there is no one in that hallway but you do spot the smallest dark foot that moves from one of the rooms just up the hall, a few spots closer to the door from where you... Sorry. A few doors closer to your current location than what your rooms were, if that makes sense. So a few doors down from where you were staying. But you do see a foot go in there and the door very silently closes behind.
I think she would probably just back down to everyone and relay that and say like, I think maybe he's just like like in the stool. Just like,
A little bit of
she would become visible. She would somehow have visibility, but it's like I think he might just be like executing in their sleep.
I mean, I guess that's good. There's like no collateral damage if nobody wakes up.
Unless it's not just... and it's planting something to explode later.
Is that a thing that people just do in?
Is this GTA?
I mean,
The hackers. I'm in.
I mean, okay, well, should I check it out further then? Happy to. I can go very quietly.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I can send another sending and be like, hey, we're here, like you told us to be. What the fuck are you doing?
If he's in the middle of offing people, I don't know if that's probably something that you want to have someone saying to you.
Head.
Yeah, I
Somebody's gonna
know.
hear it.
No, but if he's just, just and then you have a message in your head as you're throttling someone.
We
Lord
told us to meet him.
almighty.
Did he say come and meet me or
Yeah, he said if you insist on helping, come to the inn. And I insist on helping.
all right, well if you do that, I can go and keep an ear and eye out up on the balcony again.
Maybe if you like see him exit a room, so I'm not speaking at him when he's in there.
Eludere goes invisible again and Shadow steps up on the...
Yeah, sure. So what's the
and
message also?
Yeah.
The message is gonna be, we're here, like you said, to help. What up? What do you need is probably better than what up.
Than anything, I need you to secure it out of here. And again, it's that real, like, growly voice that I cannot do because my voice is too and nice.
It's true.
But yes, Elodie, you go back onto the landing.
Yeah, and she'd probably, if there's like a gap and she can see through, instead of opening the door, she'd probably just shadow step through so that she's not making any noise.
Yeah, sure. Certainly. So you want to appear directly in the hallway as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. Are you kind of can see... You can see the door where Ralafir has, or like you... I shouldn't say this.
Assumedly.
Did I just give... Yeah, the
Assumptively Ralafir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't just give the game away. But that someone went in there. You can see that that's only a few doors up from your current position. And move towards it. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Because she doesn't know what was said. So I think she would just mainly be like listening out for... She doesn't really want to disturb the room or the door.
Mhm.
But yeah, just the classic Skyrim, you're like crouched stealth and just like edging, just like
Just in
waiting
the
for the
corner.
eye to sort of like, oh, too far, and then you step back and it like closes again.
Yeah, for sure. And it's at this point, you're not looking to get any closer than that. That's the position that you're happy staying with.
she'd probably be looking for. Yeah, she'd probably be happy with that distance, but actually, while she's in the hall, she'd be looking for any traces of blood, any scuffles, like if anyone had come out, and Ralphia had just like, anyone trying to like get out, kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Assess the hallway.
Roll me a investigation check.
Not on investigation, unfortunately.
I mean, perception, you can probably roll it too. I'm honestly, that seems pretty legit.
That makes it much better. It's 20.
20. All right. It is enough to at least know that as you kind of make a bit of a look around, you don't see anything immediately in the hallway. But because you're positioned yourself in the hallway, you're able to look back into the rooms. And it's at this point that you see that there is a tiny little crack of the door into one of the rooms that had their windows facing out to the balcony. And you spot a person's body on the floor. And you kind of get, like, you position yourself. It's kind of like, we were talking about jetties earlier, so that's what made me think of it. Like, the breaks in the planks of wood are just subtle enough that, like, as you get a little bit closer, you're able to see a little bit through them. To like a living area in there. This one seems to be like separated into like living area, and then bedroom is like walled off later. Kind of sitting in an armchair is a body slumped over, and kind of around its throat and on its mouth appears to be this kind of like bubbling poison that's kind of rolling down the chin, but very much the person in there appears to be deceased. And as you're kind of having a little bit more of a look around, moving up the hallways, dressed still in those like really bright red robes with the familiar and like hierarchical decorations around the necks, as you're kind of like looking a little bit more around, making like subtle movements to move around, not like, you know, strolling up the hallway, just like, yo, let's go. You see that there are a few other rooms where this has happened too. And people are in very similar positions, kind of mostly like seem like they were resting or something along those lines. And you kind of spot that each of them have those sashes around them that appear to be of some of the 8 that you've seen from your couple of days here. And as you're kind of looking in and you're looking around, kind of spotting, you see a movement near the door that Ralphia had entered into. And you see a gust of wind that kind of opens it ever so slightly, and you're able to get a bit more of a view into what's going on in there. You see Ralphia inside in his same general form, but instead you see these green scales that kind of go up the sides of his face, and his eyes are this bright, gleaming emerald. And you see that he has someone held by the back of the throat, and he appears to have kind of like there's like this acid dripping from the side, or poison dripping from the side of his face, that appears to have been thrown onto this person and down their throat. And they appear to be limp in front of him, and he just looks back at you, and it's kind of like this startled lizard look, because he can mostly see you, not see you, but like knows you're there. And he looks back to you, and he just like, it's just this intense rage in his eyes at this point. And he goes to move out, and he kind of nods in your general direction and then goes to head further out the passageway, when as he turns the corner, and in kind of like this very movie-esque style image, you see that something faster than either of you could have perceived. A spear goes and catches him just in the shoulder. And he just kind of roils back for a moment and is caught, and you hear him struggle, and you hear his pain as his body begins to freeze up. You kind of see his muscles just stop moving, not in a death kind of way, in kind of more of a petrification kind of way. Coming around the corner, kind of mid-transformation, you see the form of Narbeth holding out a spear as she slowly begins to morph into this large green lizard-like creature that stands before you and looms over his small humanoid form with just this giant grin on their face and this kind of like bubbling nature to the skin around it. That's where we'll leave off this week. Just there.
Oh dear.
For some good.
Pretend that
Good
tomorrow is Tuesday
times.
as well.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
not keen on waiting a week for this.
All right. So, I'm BurrowsRed. I'm the Dungeon Master for tonight. I really could not help myself. I had this in mind as an ending, and it was gonna happen one way or another. But that is me. I exist. I will talk more about myself at the end because otherwise everyone will yell at me, and that is exactly what I intend on doing. But first up, we have Friendoboi playing the ever wonderful Terra.
Well, heck.
We just changed the
Hello.
music too.
Oh my god. You know, you think I would have learned by now, right? That about the cliffhangers, but then every time, it's like you get me, you got me. Anyway, I'm Friendo. I play Terra, the half-elf, temporarily mauve-haired paladin of vengeance. And thanks for hanging out. Hope you have enjoyed this memorable 21st night of September. And Burrow's Art's on Kickstarter. Get yourself a pin, please. Mel.
Oh, I'm not muted. Hi, I am Maleficent. I am a streamer and a cosplayer, and I backed BurrowsRed's pin Kickstarter, and you fucking should too. And if you don't, there's literally nothing I can do about it, but you really, really should. I'm not really doing anything in my life right now, so I'm just gonna scream about that for a while. That's all.
Wait, I need to reply. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Oh my god, I'm struggling how to spell September. How to spell September? Hi, I'm Chips, and I played Attenborough. That almost, well, I incredibly struggled on explaining what are birds and bees, but luckily I didn't say anything at all, so that's great. I am not really doing much. I said I want to do a lot of things, but I'm very busy at the moment. Oh, actually, I have teamed up with one of my friends, and we are designing shirts. So, watch this space. It's going to be interesting comments on the shirts. Yes. Anyways, to CatRoulette.
Hello, I'm Jimmy, your cat. I do art on the internet and post pictures of my cat, and that's kind of it at the moment. But sometimes that's enough. I say cat, but I have to. I post both of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. PastelSparkles.
Hi, I'm Pastel, and I played Temi, the Circle of the Moon Druid, and I had a good night tonight. Other things that I do on the internet, streaming. That's pretty much it. But today, I was working on art of Temi and Toddlington, and I'll put that in the Discord after the stream. So get in the Discord, I guess. All right, let's share.
Got him.
And I'm Alishiera. I played Eludere, who, not in the most fortuitous position, but hopefully old mate, bubbling skinned green lizard thing hasn't. Oh, I don't even know. Eludere's just like, hey, well, not gonna ruin my day. Yeah, she's in a little predicament, I guess. I'm sure I'll be fine. Yeah, I stream and exist as a gremlin online sometimes, and then sometimes I just live in darkness, only illuminated by my computer screen. So it's like one or the other.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, lots of things to fill you in on. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I again told myself that I would talk about myself. I I launched a Kickstarter today. We're releasing 5 pins when we get to the total amount. So far, we've unlocked 2 of them, but we are $34 away from unlocking a third. So please help me out. But you also don't have to. Because it's very scary. But anyway, I am here playing Discord. That's not right. I am here on the Wisdom Saves every Tuesday, as are all of these wonderful people. If you need to catch up on any of our episodes, obviously, if you're already here, you don't really need to catch up, probably. But we do post them on YouTube as well. If you have any friends or anything that you think would enjoy this campaign, feel free to let them know, because we put a lot of time and energy and effort into it. And as an added bonus extra, once we reach our donation goal, we will be doing a shrunk one-shot? A shrunk one-shot, which is going to be absolutely wonderful, chaotic, and so much fun. So we really appreciate it that you are here, enjoying our stuff. And if you jump in the Discord, you can talk all spoilers about it. Good time, we have a good community, some wonderful peeps. It's just generally a good time. I'm basically trying to delay a little bit because I forgot to look for someone while we were talking. Because
I was going to say, no, you are not a goose. You are a wonderful human being. It gives me an opportunity to say what I forget to say every damn week. I post short, well, as short as I can make them, recaps of the episodes on the World Anvil. ! World Anvil in the chat. I also post links in the Discord. I'm 1 episode behind at the moment. But if you're like, oh man, that's so much stuff to watch, well, your Friendoboi got you covered. That's it. Was that a good amount of stalling time?
Actually, yeah, that was great. That was really, really good. That was perfect. I think we have somewhere we're definitely gonna go though. It's weird because like I feel like I keep seeing new people on Tuesdays, but like that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's just weird because like they're on like multiple sessions, and I'm like, but why haven't I seen you when I come to raid people? Yeah, have you been for your last 9 sessions? If you're on session 10. But yeah, it's gonna be good. We are going to see someone who is on session 10, so we're gonna go say hello. As wonderful peeps send dudes. They can be our dudes, they can be your dudes. You got like a trombone or something, like, I don't know. I don't have an understanding of wind instruments. So, you know, drums would be great. Get some percussion in there. Some music notes is a recommendation too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely stalling at this point. But anyway, really appreciate having you here. Discord is the best place to keep up with the things that we do and the stuff that we announce. We also are on Twitter fairly regularly. When you are in the Discord or on Twitter, you can also get Thursday D&D questions posted by the ever wonderful Mel Effercent as well. I do hope that we do get to see again the fuckboy medieval outfit from Cat as well. It's very wonderful. You will not be disappointed in the slightest. But on the... I've just suddenly forgotten how to speak. See us back next Tuesday, because we'll be here doing a murder. Of who knows. But we will find out. Anyway. Say thank you to the players, please. Appreciate them. I appreciate you. See you next Tuesday. Bye.